Hellion Shuezhen, with a head full of silver hair, had a strong and tall figure. His bulging muscles held up his thick martial arts attire, and his pair of sharp eyes were like a hawk's. He stared straight at Su Jingxing and spoke in a low voice. "I don't know who you are, and I don't want to know either. I just want to give you a friendly reminder since we are both in the 4th grade. The Shi family is not as simple as you think them to be." Su Jingxing was speechless. "Thank you." Su Jingxing replied calmly, "Thanks for the reminder, but I've already made my decision." "All right then." Hellion Shuezhen sighed lightly. "Since that's the case, I'll do my best to kill you so that you don't have to endure too much pain." Before the word pain fell, Hellion Shuezhen's body suddenly burst out with a dazzling light. Crack! Boom boom boom! It was as if a thunderbolt had descended upon the world and sliced through the air. Countless thick bolts of lightning suddenly burst out. With Hellion Shuezhen as the center, they shot everywhere, covering the entire ring in an instant. At this instant, the arena seemed to have been bathed in a net of lightning, and there were hundreds of lightning snakes dancing madly and filling every corner. Not only on the surface of the ring, even in the air, the space within a 30-meter radius of the ring was also covered by the lightning snakes. A terrifying burning and tearing force struck the barrier, causing the shaking barrier to buzz non-stop. Faced with such a large-scale attack, Su Jingxing did not manage to dodge for a while and was electrocuted by a large amount of electric current. However, in that instant, he felt a stimulating pain and then it was immediately neutralized. At the same time, he understood what these electric currents were. They were not real electric arcs or electric currents, but true energy, a type of lightning and thunder true energy. Just like the heaven-trampling true energy that had weight as an attribute. Lightning and thunder true energy was not real lightning and thunder either. Instead, they were attributes. The true energy released could possess abilities similar to lightning and thunder. Burning, tearing, destruction. This kind of true energy was most suitable for covering a large area. Ordinary martial artists would not be able to withstand it. Although it wasn't real lightning and thunder, the powerful tearing and destructive force could easily shatter the physique of ordinary martial artists. Even if it was a body-tempering martial artist, if their realm wasn't very high, they still wouldn't be able to withstand it. Su Jingxing was only able to do so because his physical body had reached the limits of the human body. However, if he were to bathe in such lightning and thunder true energy for a long period of time, he would feel uncomfortable as well. Over time, the physical body at the limits of the human body would be damaged beyond repair. Therefore, Su Jingxing decisively took out his only remaining golden body card and placed it on his palm. He quietly unlocked it and applied it to his body. The red-scaled porcupine's terrifying defense instantly boosted him. Hellion Shuezhen's lightning and thunder true energy was blocked out in a split second. Within the next 10 minutes, there was no need to fear his body being destroyed. This 10 minutes was undoubtedly the time for Su Jingxing to go all out. Crack! Crack! Boom! 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 Under Hellion Shuezhen's control, the terrifying lightning and thunder true energy covered the entire arena and continuously landed on Su Jingxing's body. The old man's long silver hair fluttered behind him without any wind. His palms, mouth, and eyes were shining like lightning. Frightening claps of thunder followed one after another. The powerful destructive force caused cracks to appear on the alloy ground. At this moment, Hellion Shuezhen was like the legendary thunder god that released world-devastating lightning and thunder, suppressing and killing Su Jingxing without end. Swoosh! Boom! Su Jingxing, who was wrapped in the energy of the golden body card, launched a counterattack instantly. The 8 steps rising dragon was executed to its limits. Su Jingxing's agile and elegant movement technique allowed him to arrive before Hellion Shuezhen in less than 2 breaths. Standing face to face, 100,000 caddies of strength erupted, and the human origin volume of the 3 origin saber art poured down on Hellion Shuezhen. Upwind single slash. Sweeping river army slash. Ascending dragon overlord slash. 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 Kill. 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 He did not use true energy as it would be nullified by the lightning and thunder true energy. Su Jingxing erupted with pure physical strength, and along with the power of the three origins saber art, bombarded the astonished Hellion Shuezhen. Because Su Jingxing was too fast, when the saber light shone, Hellion Shuezhen then realized that Su Jingxing had arrived in front of him. By the time he reacted and prepared to attack, the treasure weapon that carried 100,000 caddies of strength had already struck his right neck. Thud. 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 The treasure weapon blossomed with a radiance, and 3 consecutive strikes, each one heavier than the last, each one more terrifying than the last, slashed onto the right side of Hellion Shuezhen's neck. Accompanied by muffled sounds, Hellion Shuezhen's head continuously shifted to the left, and her entire body also sank to the left. After Su Jingxing's 3 slashes, Hellion Shuezhen was already kneeling on the ground. A visible wound on his neck was exposed to the air. And this was the result of him controlling a large amount of lightning and thunder true energy to form a translucent protective armor that covered his body. If not for the protection of his true energy armor, his head would have been chopped off long ago. They were too heavy. Every strike Su Jingxing landed was too heavy. Every strike contained tens of thousands of caddies, and every slash made Hellion Shuezhen's heart jump. Innate divine strength. Su Jingxing was born with innate divine strength. This was the only explanation that made sense. Su Jingxing had used pure strength in his previous match, and also in this match. It was as if the strength in his physical body was limitless and inexhaustible. This type of body was the representation of innate divine strength, able to erupt with terrifying power for a long time. He did not think about the limits of the Su Jingxing's body. However, he knew that he had definitely practiced the corresponding body-tempering martial arts. Otherwise, Su Jingxing's physical body wouldn't have been able to withstand the previous strike of lightning and thunder. This move had a wide coverage, and was one of Hellion Shuezhen's trump cards. Usually, not many people would be able to withstand it, including 4th-grade martial artists. Only body-tempering martial artists could do so for about half a minute. Su Jingxing had innate divine strength and cultivated a special body-tempering martial art. It basically countered this ability. This caused Hellion Shuezhen to be both shocked and furious, and at the same time, he didn't dare hold back. Go to hell. Swish. 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 Boom. 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 Saber light radiated, and a dull thunderous sound echoed throughout the entire arena. Su Jingxing didn't give Hellion Shuezhen any time to catch his breath at all. Before he counterattacked, the human origin volume of the 3 origins saber art was circulated to the extreme. Extreme speed and extreme strength. Just like that, he aimed at the wound on Hellion Shuezhen's neck and slashed crazily. Boom boom boom. A loud explosion erupted, and countless gusts of energies were sent flying. Dozens and hundreds of strikes landed in a second. The hacking caused Hellion Shuezhen's mind to go blank. Lightning and thunder true energy was everywhere. Gone out of control, it was bursting in all directions. His true energy armor was already broken, so how could it withstand such a rapid and aggressive slashes? In less than 3 seconds, there was a strange cracking sound as his neck was chopped off. Hellion Shuezhen's head, which wore a frightened expression, was tossed high into the air. Pooh! A pillar of blood shot into the sky with his head. Dong! The fallen head landed on the ground and rolled 3 times. Hellion Shuezhen's headless body swayed and collapsed to the ground. Clang! After extracting a card, Su Jingxing held the treasure weapon in his hand, half kneeling beside Hellion Shuezhen's corpse, propping the blade against the ground as he calmed his breathing. Slashing Hellion Shuezhen took too much strength. Now that he had stopped, besides feeling hot all over with steam rising from the top of his head, a wave of exhaustion and fatigue had surged closely behind. When Shi Jinyan saw this, his eyes lit up immediately. He waved his hand and shouted, "Yu Qixin, Luo Lishi, you too, go into the ring immediately." Understood. The guest elders of the Shi family, who had been named, rushed out of the waiting area and towards the stage. Swoosh! A figure descended from the sky and blocked the way. Li Linzhou said expressionlessly, "It's not time yet." During the duel, the interval between the matches was set to be 5 minutes. However, Su Jingxing couldn't wait for them to come in quickly. The 10-minute time limit for the golden body card was not up yet. So. It's okay. Let them come. Su Jingxing propped himself up with his saber and shouted at Li Linzhou, "It's best if everyone comes together." Together? The audience who had yet to recover from the shock of Helian Shuezhen's death could not help but be stunned. Yu Qixin, Luo Lishi and the others were pleasantly surprised. "Commander Li, look. There are rules in a duel." Li Linzhou had no expression. "Only one person can go in every match. Which one of you will go first?" "All right." Yu Qixin, Luo Lishi and the rest pursed their lips in pity. If they attacked together, there was no doubt that they had a high chance of killing Su Jingxing. "I'll go first." Yu Qixin took a deep breath and walked towards the ring. As a guest elder of the Shi family, regardless of what was ahead, he could only put on a bold face and go through with it. Next, Shi family, Yu Qixin. Lin family, Stone Annihilator. Li Linzhou announced the start of a new match. Swish. 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 A shrill sound of wind breaking could be heard. As soon as Yu Qixin stepped into the ring, his hands danced and shot out rows of fine poisonous needles. Swoosh. Whoosh. Su Jingxing ignored the needles and executed the 8 steps rising dragon. He held his treasure weapon and charged in front of Yu Qixin, slashing down. No. Pooh. Blood sprayed out and his head was thrown into the air. Next. Su Jingxing extracted a card and turned to look at Luo Lishi and the others who were waiting at the entrance of the ring. Next, Shi family, Luo Lishi. Lin family, Stone Annihilator. Li Linzhou's voice sounded. Whoosh. 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 As soon as Luo Lishi stepped onto the stage, the long sword in his hand stirred up waves of strong winds, carrying a scorching aura as he charged towards Su Jingxing. Swoosh. Su Jingxing continued to ignore Luo Lishi as he used the 8 steps rising dragon. In a flash, he appeared in front of Luo Lishi and slashed down. Pooh! Once again, blood splattered, and a head was in the air. Next. Su Jingxing picked up the card and shouted. Next, Shi family, Wu Weiqing. Lin family, Stone Annihilator. Swoosh. Whoosh. 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 Wu Weiqing, who had a slim and graceful figure, also released her true energy as soon as she entered a ring. She brandished a long whip and swung it wildly to attack Su Jingxing. Boom! Su Jingxing continued to ignore her. He stepped on 8 steps rising dragon and swiftly rushed forward. The treasure weapon in his hand shone with a radiance as he slashed. Bang! The air exploded. Wu Weiqing sensed it and dodged in time. But. Swoosh! 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 The extremely fast saber light appeared again. This time, 3 slashes were released consecutively and the saber energy drowned Wu Weiqing. She did not even have the chance to scream before her head was separated from her body. Next. Next, Shi family, Yuan Xinhui. Lin family, Stone Annihilator. Swoosh. 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 Pooh. Next. Next, Shi family, Ni Qiong. Lin family, stone annihilator. Swish. 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 Pooh. Next. Next, Shi family, Zhua Ben Jin. Lin family, stone annihilator. Swish. 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 Pooh. Next. Next, Shi family, Lian Dongguan, Lin family, stone annihilator. Swish. 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 Pooh. Next. Go on, die. Go on, die. Go on, die. For a period of time, in the huge arena, Su Jingxing's shout would be heard less than 20 seconds after Li Linzhou's announcement. With every shout, a guest elder of the Shi family died in the ring. The spacious ring was soon filled with corpses and blood. Next. Next. Su Jingxing's voice gradually lowered and his body started to sway. The audience, however, went from feeling shocked to dazed, then to being blank, and finally to feeling numb. In the arena with more than 100,000 people, other than Su Jingxing's shout and Li Linzhou's voice, everyone else had shut up. They watched numbly as the Shi family's guest elders or descendants, went into the ring one after another and were killed by a single slash or 3 slashes. This killing method that resembled the slaughtering of pigs, no, the slaughtering of chickens, had everyone trembling from head to toe. They were speechless from shock. Until. Clang. With a crisp sound, Su Jingxing's strength was completely exhausted. The treasure weapon in his hand fell to the ground and he didn't shout anymore. His hair, face, and clothes were all drenched in sweat. Dripping, his sweat joined the pool of blood, creating ripples. The entire arena fell into dead silence. How many? How many people from the Shi family had been killed? The crowd stared at the large display screen hanging in the middle of the arena with their numb scalps. It showed a row of numbers. The number of deaths from the Lin and Shi families. At this moment, the numbers were 69, 0, 69. 69. He single-handedly won 69 matches consecutively and killed 69 people from the Shi clan. 2 in the 4th grade, 11 in the 5th grade, and 27 in the 6th grade. The rest were all 7th grade martial artists. Faced with this data, everyone was once again shocked beyond words. The throats of the audience watching through televisions and the internet were dry and their limbs numb. Without stopping, he had killed 67 6th grade, 5th grade, and 7th grade martial artists in one go. Is he even human? Whoosh! Su Jingxing walked step by step. In the moment he stepped out of the ring, the quiet stadium finally regained its liveliness and went into an uproar. F***ck, F***ck, F***ck. Mad, mad, I'm going mad. Who is this guest elder? He's not human. This fellow isn't human. He killed 69 people in one go using just a small amount of true energy. This fellow is definitely not human. When did the physical body strength of a 4th grade martial artist become so exaggerated? If he hadn't finally stopped, I would have suspected that he would continue killing his way through. Ah, this is amazing, too amazing. Screams, shouts, cheers, all sorts of sounds were mixed together, forming a sound wave that reverberated in the arena. The ordinary audience was shouting like they were partying, but the Li, Zhou, Wang, Qi families and even the people from the Martial Suppression Office, the Public Security Team, and the City Guard Office were quiet. Meanwhile, the Shi family was deathly silent. Patriarch, shall we kill him while he's exhausted? A voice sounded behind Shi Jinyan's head. Shut up. Shi Jinyan barked in a low voice. On his somber face, the darkness could almost coagulate. Kill Su Jingxing. Did he not notice that Li Linzhou's gaze was wandering around the Shi family's area all this while? If the Shi family were to make any moves, Li Linzhou definitely won't sit still. 69 people had died, and Su Jingxing had finally left the ring. The Shi family still had a chance. Shi Jinyan had already figured out what kind of people were in the Stone Annihilation Alliance. Other than Huangya, who was in the 6th grade, the rest were all in the lower ranks. Among them, majority were in the 9th grade. How dare these people challenge them? Courting death. Shi Jinyan wanted all of them to die, to keep all the dead Shi family descendants company. Oh. Senior, sit here, sit here. In the waiting area on the left, Su Jingxing returned shakily. Xiao Qingyue immediately fussed around him. He brought towels, water, and even wanted to give him a massage. He only stopped after Su Jingxing raised his hand. Senior, don't worry. We'll handle the rest. Shen Qian looked at Su Jingxing respectfully and said seriously. Yes, senior. Take a break with an easy mind now. We'll go and fight the Shi family. Xiao Qingyue clenched his fists. I'll go first for the next match, Jiang Tianhao said straightforwardly. No, let me go first. I'll do it, I'll do it. I've waited so long for this day, I'll go next. The few of them fought, all wanting to go on first. Hey, old Guan, where are you going? Yang Xijing suddenly shouted at a reserved middle-aged man. The latter did not seem to hear her. Carrying a huge saber on his back, he walked straight to the ring. Stop arguing. Uncle Guan is going ahead. Mao Xiaomao shouted at Xiao Qingyue and the others. Shen Qian, Xiao Qingyue, and the others turned to look at the ring. The middle-aged man named Guan Yedao had already reached the entrance. Standing at the edge of the entrance, he watched as the public security team quickly carried the corpses off the stage and sent them to the crematorium. After the corpses were cleared, a powder was also scattered onto the fresh blood that flowed out of them to congeal it into solid pieces. All that was left was a strong fishy smell of blood. It would take some time for that to be dispelled. Guan Yedao waited for everyone to leave before stepping into the ring. Whoosh! At the entrance on the right, the participant from the Shi family quickly rushed into the ring and stood on the ground covered in white blocks. He stared at Guan Yedao with hostility. Next round, Shi family, Shi Jin duo. Lin family, Guan Yedao. Li Linzhou's voice echoed throughout the venue. Only then did the noisy arena quieten down. Everyone looked at the ring. Remember, the person who killed you is called Shi Jin duo. On the arena, Shi Jin duo drew his long sword and released his true qi, slashing at Guan Yedao. Swish! The air was torn apart as powerful energy danced in the air. Guan Yedao, who was a man of few words, stomped on the ground and ran around the arena at his fastest speed. Shi Jin duo, a 6th grade martial artist. Old Guan is only in the 7th grade. How long can he last? Yang Xijing muttered as she looked at the ring. No matter how long, it's still a gain, Shen Qian commented. Of course, if old Guan can fight to the death and seriously injure Shi Jin duo, that would be even better. Using death to injure severely? It was a good idea, but the situation was not so optimistic. Su Jingxing leaned back in his chair and pulled up his mask, revealing his mouth. He stuffed a few essence energy pills into his mouth to relieve his fatigue and recover his energy. A moment later, he stuffed a dozen strength pills into his mouth to replenish his strength. Essence energy pills in one mouthful and strength pills in another, he supplemented himself in an orderly manner. On the other hand, his true energy hadn't been depleted much, so he didn't have to replenish it yet. Looking at Shi Jin duo and Guan Yedao on the stage, Su Jingxing's eyes flashed. At the start of the battle, Guan Yedao fell into a disadvantage and was chased by Shi Jin duo. Shi Jin duo's sword energy danced around the ring, continuously cutting through the ground and barriers. Guan Yedao's speed was sufficient, but his movement technique was lacking. Thus, he was quickly swept by the sword energy, and the wounds on his body gradually increased. Correspondingly, he was also moving closer and closer to Shi Jinduo. Finally, with a strange sound, Shi Jinduo's long sword pierced through Guan Yidao's chest and through his back. The two of them were leaning close together. Damn bastard! Shi Jinduo looked at Guan Yidao coldly and growled, "Do you think you can hurt me by getting close to me? Let me tell you, don't even think about it in your next life." Guan Yidao did not say anything, but blood kept gushing out of his mouth. Then, he looked at Shi Jinduo and laughed with difficulty. Ha! Bang! A deafening sound echoed throughout the venue. Guan Yidao's body suddenly exploded, turning into countless bits of flesh and blood that rained down and scattered all over the ground. Even though Shi Jinduo, who was right in front of him, had true energy protecting his body, he was too close, and the might of the explosion was too great. He was blasted off the ground on the spot. The flesh on his face became mangled and half of his chest caved in. He was sent flying for more than 10 meters before crashing heavily onto the ground. His limbs were trembling, and blood trickled down the corner of his lips. His eyes were wide with disbelief. In the end, he died abruptly with his eyes still open. A hush fell over the entire arena. Everyone was dumbfounded. Perishing together. Perishing together. Guan Yidao, who was in the 7th grade, was actually dragging the 6th grade Shi Jinduo down with him. Too ruthless. Vicious people, they are all vicious people. The guest elders of the Lin family is already abnormal enough, but the others are also crazy. That's right. This Guan Yidao had actually tied a bomb to his body. By self-destructing, he would kill Shi Jinduo with him. How ruthless. The Shi family must be panicking now. It wasn't easy for them to hold on to the Lin family's guest elder left. They probably didn't expect the others to be able to kill too. The huge arena was in an uproar. No one expected Guan Yidao to actually drag Shi Jinduo to death with him. The members of the Shi family, who had recovered from their shock, were indeed rather flustered. Lunatics. The Stone Annihilation Alliance were all lunatics. Shi Jinyan's face was not only somber, it was almost black as charcoal. Ha ha ha. Look at Shi Jinyan's expression. The people from the Li, Qi, Zhou, and Wang families all burst into laughter, gloating at their misfortune when they saw this from afar. All of you, tied bombs to yourself. Su Jingxing glanced at Shen Qian, Jiang Tianhao and the others and asked in a low voice. Of course, this is normal. Xiao Qingyue pushed his hair back and smiled confidently. Although we're not as strong as the Shi family, we can still drag them down with us. No matter what, one person killed is one kill earned. Su Jingxing remained silent. Regardless of whether he admitted it or not, at the very beginning, Su Jingxing really only wanted to make use of the Stone Annihilation Alliance. However, at this moment, he felt some admiration for them. Eliminating the Shi family wasn't just empty talk. They were truly willing to go all out. Guan Yidao was not the first. Soon, Zhang Jun, Yang Xijing, Jiang Tianhao, Lu Mang, He Bing. One after another, they chose to self-destruct, either heavily injuring or perishing with the people from the Shi family. Boom! 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 The explosions continued. The 100 matches gradually decreased. When there were only 10 matches left to go, Su Jingxing stepped into the ring once more. Swoosh! The saber light flashed across. The head of the fleeing Shi descendant left his neck and flew high into the air. It fell to the ground with a thud and rolled twice. On his frightened and indignant face, his eyes were wide open. Next. Su Jingxing extracted a card and turned to look at the entrance on the right side of the ring. Outside the entrance, a group of Shi descendants were waiting. Terror was written all over their faces as they looked at Su Jingxing with gazes filled with fear and resentment. Although the Stone Annihilation Alliance were all lunatics who had tied the bombs to their bodies, they still had a chance of survival against them compared to Su Jingxing. As long as they keep a distance and make sure they do not get, or are only slightly affected by the explosions, they would at most end up with some injuries. But Su Jingxing was different. Facing Su Jingxing spelled death, and only death. There were no exceptions. No one was willing to take part in a match where they were sure to die. Unfortunately, the duel had come to its final stage, and the outcome was already decided. The Shi family had lost. In order to cut losses in time, these last 10 descendants of the Shi family were people that Shi Jianian had specially sent into the ring for Su Jingxing to kill. As expected, all 10 of them came from the collateral lines. The kind that were unwelcome and not well liked at that. The last 5 were not even in the 9th grade. They were all ordinary people. The moment they entered the ring, they began crying and shouting, wanting to kneel and beg for mercy. Su Jingxing slashed at them from a distance and sent them to meet their ancestors. At this point, the duel came to an anticlimactic end. When Li Linzhou announced the end of the duel, more than 100,000 spectators who were present had yet to snap back to their senses. What's going on? How did it end? That's right. The beginning was so intense that it was either next or boom boom boom. Why was there no commotion at the end? It's not that there's no commotion. It's mainly because the Lin family's guest elder is too powerful. Now that he has recovered his strength and returned to the ring, if he were to fight freely, no one will be his match unless the Shi family sends out a 4th grade expert. The key is that even if they do send out a 4th grade expert, he might not be able to defeat the Lin family's guest elder. Yes, the Lin family's guest elder is too strong. Although he is only in the 4th grade, he is born with innate divine strength. No one knows his true background. If they were to act rashly, they will pay with their lives. In any case, the outcome has already been decided. It's obvious that they've lost. Since that's the case, why send any 4th grade experts? It's better to have 10 bottom-rung members of the Shi family die than a 4th grade member of the family die or suffer serious injuries. TSK, I can only say that Shi Jianian is really ruthless. *T, he's just taking into account the bigger picture and preserving the Shi family's effective strength. In the spectator stands, the crowd were in fervent discussions. The last 10 matches were so calm, or even uninteresting that it left one in a daze. Anyone with a bit of insight could see Shi Jianian's intentions. Stop the losses in time. Even though Su Jingxing had made a clean sweep of most of the Shi family's higher-level martial artists, their strongest combat powers did not suffer any losses. The 2 4th-grade martial artists, Ji Min and Helian Shuezhen, were merely guardians of the Shi family. From the beginning to the end, the 4th-grade experts of the Shi family had never shown themselves. As long as they were still around, the Shi family would not fall. The Li, Qi, Zhou, and Wang families didn't dare to act rashly. A martial artist in the 4th grade, it would be fine if he was killed on the spot. If they let him escape, he would be like a time bomb. They wouldn't even know when it would explode near them. In particular, no one knew how many 4th grade experts the Shi family had. Under such circumstances, who would dare to touch the Shi family? The remaining members of the Stone Annihilation Alliance were unwilling to accept this, but they could only choose to do so. Overall, this plan is very successful. Don't be discouraged. In the isolated office, Shen Qian clapped her hands to attract everyone's attention. She encouraged, the Shi family has not been exterminated yet. Our battle is not over yet. For this, I hope that everyone will continue to work hard, continue to accumulate strength, and strive to completely wipe out the Shi family next time. No one responded. Everyone's eyes fell on Su Jingxing. Everyone present knew very well that if they wanted to destroy the Shi family, it would ultimately depend on Su Jingxing. For them, even if they continue to work hard for another 50 years, there would still be no hope. Shen Qian naturally understood this. When she spoke, she also looked at Su Jingxing. Su Jingxing wanted to end the cooperation here. After all, the duel was over. However, after thinking for a moment, he still said, I'm sure everyone has seen that Shi Jinyan isn't the kind of person who gets hot-headed and impulsive easily. If he was such a person, he wouldn't be able to become the patriarch of the Shi family. It can be said that as long as he's around, completely destroying the Shi family will be quite impossible unless we have the help of powerhouses in the top ranks. More than one at that. Do we have powerhouses in the top ranks? No. Therefore, the annihilation of the Shi family needs to be discussed at length. Continue to do what you have done previously. Of course, it's best to increase the surveillance on the Shi family. At this point, Su Jingxing paused. If you make any unexpected discoveries, you can contact me. Alright, we know what to do. Shen Qian said happily, Senior, don't worry. We will inform you immediately if we find anything. Fine. The Stone Annihilation Alliance was still useful. Maintaining contact was more beneficial than detrimental to Su Jingxing. Of course, if they wanted to make use of him, he could only say that they were courting death. Su Jingxing didn't mind having a few more cards. Back at his small courtyard at the foot of the mountain, Su Jingxing counted the gains from this duel. A total of 79 people had died in his hands. Therefore, a total of 79 functional cards were extracted. Since most of them were descendants of the Shi family, most of them were bloodline cards. 49 of them. Each of them contained the 3 Yin candles' blood. Su Jingxing set them aside and checked the other cards. The remaining 30 were from Shi family's guest elders and guardians. There were only 2 guardians, Ji Min and Helian Shuezhen. The cards extracted from both of them were skill cards. Among them, Ji Min's was a secret ability, Skyrocket Cannon. This secret ability strove to use the body as a weapon. It had very high demands for one's physique. Then, under the drive of true energy, lock onto a target. Like a projectile, the user would possess terrifying offense and destructive power. When Su Jingxing and Ji Min were competing, Ji Min's entire body was glowing towards the end as he chased after Su Jingxing relentlessly. This was the secret ability he used. As for Helian Shuezhen, a martial art was extracted. Divine Spirit Control Technique. Su Jingxing read the description carefully and found that it was actually a top-level control-type martial art. Spirit Control, Spirit Control. What it controls are spirit weapons. Even a first-grade big shot would be greedy for such a martial art. Helian Shuezhen really has a collection. God knows where he got them from. That's right. It was collect, not cultivate. This was because the divine spirit control technique extracted from Helian Shuezhen's corpse was not only just a section of the entire thing, this section was also F*King incomplete. If Su Jingxing wanted to cultivate it, he would have to use many years in his deduction cards. Therefore, even though he was tempted, Su Jingxing could only endure with the divine spirit control technique for now. There were 28 cards left, 22 true energy cards, containing a range of 5 to 20 years cultivation. The 6 skill cards all contained martial arts. Although 5 of them were good, they could not be compared to the 100 Steps Raining Fist. After Su Jingxing looked through them, he kept them in his palm space. There was only one martial art that Su Jingxing thought was awesome. Air-splitting palm. This was a martial art with similarities to striking someone from a distance. When released, it was silent, and when it erupted, it would sound like a thunderclap. Its demands on true energy were not very high, and it could be applied to any attribute. It was easy to learn the basics, but difficult to master. If it was difficult to master, then perhaps that was a flaw. However, because of this weakness, there were many people who cultivated this air-splitting palm. At the very least, through Wan Rong's memories, Su Jingxing knew that all the major factions in Qinghe City had people who cultivated the air-splitting palm. The reason for this was its origin. Its roots came from a dojo in Changyang Prefecture City. That dojo had existed for more than 100 years. The crowds who wanted to acknowledge a master from there, or pay to learn martial arts were endless. In the dojo, other than ultimate arts that weren't leaked, most of the other martial arts skills were leaked. The air-splitting palm was one of them. This martial art was not weak, but it was difficult to master. There were many people who cultivated it, but few were successful. After taking a closer look, Su Jingxing decided to learn it. There was no problem with its origin and it was powerful enough. There was also a complete set of mental cultivation techniques and moves. It would be a loss not to learn it. He unlocked the card immediately and absorbed all the information about the air-splitting palm. After comprehending it a little and remembering the key points, he temporarily put it aside. There was no hurry to cultivate martial arts and up his cultivation level. He had yet to settle the 49 bloodline cards. Su Jingxing wanted to see how much Thunderbolt could recover from feeding on 49 blood pearls. Therefore, he unlocked the bloodline cards one by one and obtained 3 Yin Candle's blood pearls of different sizes. Every time he fed it one, the azure light on the surface of Thunderbolt would become brighter. Without the stimulation of the big white goose's glow, Thunderbolt, after absorbing the 3 Yin Candle's blood, automatically emitted green light. 49 bloodline cards, 49 blood pearls. After absorbing all of them, the green light on the surface of Thunderbolt was almost as bright as a light bulb. It slowly left Su Jingxing's palm and floated in midair. While it radiated a green light, it spun gently. Not enough. Su Jingxing focused his attention on his spirit weapon and received sentient feedback from Thunderbolt. Although it was vague, the meaning was there. Not enough. Almost. Su Jingxing narrowed his eyes. It was within an inch of recovering completely. This was telling him to continue targeting the Shi family. He wondered how many direct and collateral descendants of the Shi family were left after the duel. The Shi family's residence. Bang! A muffled sound echoed in the quiet hall. Shi Jinyan, who had just finished giving instructions, stepped out from the inner room. When he saw the 2 men tied up and lying on the ground, he frowned and asked, "Who are they?" "Patriarch, these 2 are from the Flying Cloud sect." A black-clothed martial artist with a cold aura replied. Flying Cloud sect. On the left side of the hall, a middle-aged man with unibrow eyebrows sneered and said, "Now, even these underground gangs dare to provoke the Shi family. Alright, cut the crap." Shi Jinyan raised his hand and said in a low voice, "How's your progress with the task I handed you?" "Don't worry. I never make mistakes." The unibrow man grinned. "There is nothing wrong with being careful. No matter what happens, there cannot be any problems." Shi Jinyan said lowly. Alright. I'm not a child." The unibrow man was a little impatient. He shifted his gaze and looked at the 2 people lying on the ground. "Big brother, how should we deal with these 2? Kill them directly, or?" "Of course they'll be sent over there," Shi Jinyan said in a low voice. "The old man is about to succeed and is lacking manpower. These people have come just in time." "Really?" The unibrow man was overjoyed upon hearing this. "Big brother, the old man is finally going to succeed?" "That's right, another 100 or so and it'll be over." Shi Jinyan was also a little excited. "Great, that's wonderful." The unibrow man stood up and waved his fist in excitement. "He has finally succeeded. We waited for this day for 20 years. No, that's not right. We waited nearly 100 years. Now, we are finally about to succeed." As long as old man succeeds, Li Lin Zhou, the Li family, the Zhou family, and the Qi family will all kneel down and kowtow to me. Ha ha ha. The unibrow man couldn't suppress his excitement and laughed loudly. "Calm down." Although Shi Jinyan was overjoyed, he did not lose his composure like his younger brother. The unibrow man was his biological brother from the same mother, Shi Jinluan. In this duel, only 5 members of the Shi family's Jin generation. Other than Shi Jinyan, Shi Jinluan was one of the 4 others. For the Yan generation below, all those above 16 years old were dead. And for the Ji generation above, all below the 4th grade were also dead. There was no need to mention the guest elders and guardians. They were all killed by Su Jingxing. If not for the fact that the Shi family still had a team of sacrificial soldiers and the 2 factions they controlled in secret, they would not have any manpower to mobilize. Because of this, Shi Jinyan hated Su Jingxing, who hadn't revealed his identity from the beginning to the end, and the Stone Annihilation Alliance to the core. The old man is still lacking manpower. There are people in the Stone Annihilation Alliance. Lure out the remaining martial artists and capture them. Send them over there. Shi Jinyan ordered in a deep voice. All right. Shi Jinluan clapped his hands and said, I've been wanting to kill these small fries for a long time. Previously, they were hiding in the dark and were very vigilant. If anything went wrong, they would change their base and we'd miss them many times. Now that they've been exposed, they can forget about escaping. Pay attention to the 4th grade. Shi Jinyan thought of Su Jingxing and said with an overcast expression, he might be with the Stone Annihilation Alliance. Don't show yourself. Don't worry, I'm not that stupid. Shi Jinluan raised his hand. Also, you must capture the remaining martial artists of the Stone Annihilation Alliance alive. We don't want them dead, Shi Jinyan warned. Understood. Shi Jinluan rolled his eyes. I'll take care of this. Just wait for the good news. I'll cut the crap and get going first. After he finished speaking, he turned around and quickly walked towards the main entrance, disappearing from Shi Jinyan's sight. Soon. Shi Jinyan looked at the night sky and muttered softly, but a hint of fanaticism suddenly flashed through his eyes. In the small courtyard at the foot of the mountain, Su Jingxing put away Thunderbolt and took out his true energy cards. The Shi family was currently being watched by all the major and minor factions in the city. If he were to kill a Shi family member and extract the bloodline card, the commotion would be too great. Su Jingxing was in no hurry. He could afford to wait for Thunderbolt to recover. Before that, it was better to improve his cultivation level. Su Jingxing compared the 22 true energy cards and left 2 as reserves. The rest added up to exactly 200 years of cultivation. The 200 years of attributeless true energy was absorbed into his dantian and converted into heaven-trampling true energy. Su Jingxing's true energy cultivation hence exceeded 300 years. In the 6th grade realm with 300 years of true energy cultivation. Ignoring whether anyone will come close to this in the future, it was probably accurate to say that this was unprecedented. Su Jingxing was overjoyed with this sudden 200-year increase, but he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He truly lacked experience, and the ethereal sword immortal had not mentioned it either. It made sense, how many people would be able to endure for 300 years in the 6th grade? This sudden spike in cultivation level naturally affected his physical body as well. Smoke was rising from his head. A way of giving names whereby descendants in the same generation have the same character in their names. Same generation means that they are of the same seniority in the family hierarchy, so these people are usually cousins or siblings. Referring to the juniors such as Shi Yenkang. Referring to the seniors, such as Shi Zhibang. His skin was red. His exhaled breaths became arrows. Eyes shining. It was not a figurative description. They were really like electric lamps that emitted a blinding light. It was clear that he could not go out in this state. Su Jingxing could only apply for 3 days leave. In these 3 days, he tempered his true energy while using the ghost python breath-holding technique to restrain his uncontrollable aura and vital energy. Fortunately, the level of the ghost python breath-holding technique was high enough and its ability was outstanding. Su Jingxing didn't sleep or rest. It took him 2 days and 2 nights to take care of this. Now that he had reduced the anomalies in his body due to the rapid growth of his true energy, Su Jingxing had learned his lesson from advancing rashly this time. Although he could increase his true energy without limits with the help of the 9 steps trampling heaven, the consequences of doing so too quickly would still be unavoidable. Smoke rising from the top of his head and his eyes glowing were still fine. But if his ears, nose and limbs were to become bigger one day, that would be a pain in the ass. At the end of the day, it was safer to proceed step by step in whatever he did. Excess is just as bad as deficiency. It might cause serious trouble in the future. Of course, not many people could be like Su Jingxing, stepping into the 6th grade before the age of 16 and possessing true energy cultivation of more than 300 years. Su Jingxing had asked the ethereal sword immortal before. On the surface, the lifespan of a 1st-grade powerhouse, the highest level martial artists could reach, was the same as that of ordinary people. They could live up to 120 years at most. That was 2 cycles of 60 years. In the past 100 years, through the use of heavenly treasures and high-level internal exercises, the highest level of true energy cultivation attained was 100 years. Above that was true essence. After all, true essence was a qualitative change in true energy, and it was even stronger. Martial artists in the top ranks paid particular attention to their true essence cultivation. True energy cultivation was the characteristic of martial artists in the middle ranks. According to what the ethereal sword immortal had revealed, the true essence cultivation of a 1st-grade expert was generally around 100 years to 300 years, regardless of whether it was true essence or true energy. Su Jingxing was probably the first. After much effort, Su Jingxing managed to control himself. While he went to work, he continued to temper himself at night. Repeated tempering of his true energy was like building a foundation, and the stronger the foundation, the better. Others were anxious to make a breakthrough, but Su Jingxing wasn't. Putting aside the mysteries of 9 steps trampling heaven, just the true energy cards he extracted were enough for Su Jingxing to feel at ease and slowly strengthen his foundation. Except after Su Jingxing had taken half a month to refine his 300 years of heaven trampling true energy 9 times, the true energy in his dantian had automatically turned into mist. True energy turns into mist. This was a characteristic of 5th grade. I didn't want to break through, but I did. Su Jingxing didn't know what to say. He had wanted to wait, but his realm didn't wait for him and advanced by itself. Is it because I have too much true energy? After regaining his composure, Su Jingxing thought to himself while accepting the truth. Since his true energy had turned into mist on its own, it should have nothing to do with the 9 steps trampling heaven he cultivated. Even if it did, the 9 steps trampling heaven most likely played a very small role. The real reason was probably due to the excessive true energy that he had accumulated was too much, and exceeded 300 years. A qualitative change brought about by a complete change in quantity. To put it simply, Su Jingxing's 6th grade foundation couldn't be any more secure. So secure that his realm advanced to the next level by itself. Su Jingxing was relieved after thinking through all these. With the most stable 5th grade foundation, it would be much easier to break through to 4th grade. Of course, it would be best if it is another automatic breakthrough. Cough cough. Su Jingxing was secretly delighted. At this moment, a soft sound came from the phone he had set aside, indicating that he had received a message. Su Jingxing picked up his phone and unlocked it. He couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. The next moment, he used an anonymous number to dial Shenqian's number. When the call connected, he quickly asked, "What's the situation?" "We don't know the details." Shenqian answered on the other end, "At first, we thought that we were caught because our whereabouts were leaked. However, after Yi Yunru and Kai Gongxian were caught, we realized that something was wrong. After careful analysis, we confirmed that the Shi family was deliberately luring us." Yi Yunru and Kai Gongxian had tracked the traces left behind by the Shi family. They followed them all the way and finally fell into the Shi family's trap and were captured. Are you sure they were captured and not killed? Su Jingxing lowered his voice. Yes, Shen Qian said in a more serious tone. All of our remaining martial artists have installed a heartbeat tracker in our bodies, the kind that is embedded in our skin. Through the tracker, we can determine whether a person is dead or alive. As long as Yi Yunru and Kai Gongxian keep silent, no one will know that there is a little gadgetry hidden under their skin. With the help of this little gadgetry, not only will we know whether they are dead or alive, we will also be able to lock onto their movements and their final location. Where are they now? Su Jingxing asked. On a mountain peak that is part of the peripheral peaks northeast of the Green Cloud Mountain Range. Shen Qian replied, I've asked Xiao Mao to mark the exact location on a map and send it to you. Alright, I'll take a look first. Su Jingxing hung up and turned on his computer. He first received an email, then opened it and looked at the route on the map. As expected, the Shi family was up to something again. For the past 2 weeks, Su Jingxing had been receiving news about the Shi family from Shen Qian. Firstly, all the members of the Shi family were holed up, staying in their estate all day long. After that, the various factions sent many people to infiltrate the estate and investigate the situation, but none of those people came out. Furthermore, the Shi family was selling their businesses to the outside world, and it seemed like they no longer planned to stay in Qinghe City. Finally, Yi Yunru, Kai Gongxian, Yi Zhichong, and the remaining dozen or so martial artists of the Stone Annihilation Alliance were deliberately lured and captured by the Shi family. Of course, there was no problem with these people being captured. The problem was that the Shi family did not kill them. This made everyone curious. They found it strange. Members of the Stone Annihilation Alliance had self-destructed in the arena and killed more than 10 Shi descendants. They even cooperated with Su Jingxing and started a duel in the name of the Lin family. Logically speaking, the Shi family should be itching to kill all those martial artists from the alliance. However, the Shi family did not. Instead, they secretly moved them to a mountain peak northeast of Green Cloud Mountain Range. Su Jingxing, who had already been to the Turtleback Mountain that was southeastern of the Green Cloud Mountain Range, had no doubt that Yi Yunru, Kai Gongxian, Yi Zhichong, and the others were currently held at another secret base of the Shi family. Why did the Shi family lock them up in the secret base? Something is wrong. There is definitely something going on here. Su Jingxing stared at the final location on the map for a while and decided to go take a look. Saving people was a matter of convenience. Getting to the bottom of the Shi family's conspiracy was secondary. Killing a group of Shi descendants and extracting the bloodline cards was the key. Thunderbolt was just one step away from a complete recovery. There were too many people watching if he were to take action in the city. Outside the city, at the Shi family's secret base, there would be no problem. With Su Jingxing's true energy cultivation of more than 300 years, even if the Shi family had 10 fourth-grade experts, he would still dare to fight. After all, if he couldn't win, would he be afraid of failing to escape? Cough cough. After making his decision, Su Jingxing immediately turned off his computer and prepared to rush there overnight. However, the moment the computer shut down, an idea struck him. Then, he turned on his computer again and went to the official website of the Martial Suppression Office and sent an email to their official email address. The contents of the email included the news of Yi Yunru, Kai Gongxian, Yi Zhichong, and other martial artists from the Stone Annihilation Alliance being captured by the Shi family, and that they were locked up on a mountain in the northeast of the Green Cloud Mountain Range. It also included a map of the route. As for the heartbeat trackers and the like, he didn't mention them. The Martial Suppression Office had sifted out people of the Shi family, and those that remained were all from other major factions. That's right. Su Jingxing had exposed this news not only to inform Li Linzhou, but also to get the other forces spying on the Shi family to join in. The secret base was a secret because no one knew where it was. Now, Su Jingxing exposed its exact location. He refused to believe that the Li, Zhou, and Qi families, as well as the other influential factions in Qinghe City wouldn't be tempted and come take a look. Su Jingxing had no doubt that after the Li family received this map and news of martial artists from the Stone Annihilation Alliance being captured, they would definitely associate the final location on the map as the Shi family's other secret base. As long as they came, they would definitely make a move. Su Jingxing couldn't guess how many fourth-grade experts the Shi family had. With the experts from the major family clans and factions, there was no doubt that there would be greater assurance. As for betting that they would take action, it was because Su Jingxing would rush there in advance. The small courtyard at the foot of the mountain was less than 60 kilometers away from the secret base northeast of the Green Cloud Mountain range. With Su Jingxing's speed, he would arrive in about 10 minutes. He would arrive first, force his way in, and start a massacre. When Li Linzhou, and people from major family clans and factions arrive, Su Jingxing didn't believe that they wouldn't take action and seize the good stuff during the chaos. The secrets, information and items from the Shi family's 100 years of foundation could not be all in the city. A portion of it was placed in a secret base outside the city. That was for sure. As for whether they find the treasures in the end, that had nothing to do with Su Jingxing. Su Jingxing was not very concerned about the safety of Yi Yunru, Kai Gongxian, Yi Jiuchong and the others either. They were not Gu Duo. It was already good enough that Su Jingxing could conveniently save them. They could only blame their bad luck if they do die accidentally. In order to make the chaos bigger, it was best if the Su Jingxing and the people of the major family clans and factions arrived one after another. If their timings were too far apart, accidents might happen. Such accidents could be Su Jingxing running away or someone from the Shi family escaping. However, with experts from the major family clans and factions participating, accidents were basically eliminated. His considerations ended here. After sending the email, Su Jingxing turned off his computer and quickly disguised his appearance. He put on his cloak and mask. Then, he left the small courtyard and waited at the top of a building beside the main road that led out of the city. He waited for half an hour before cars appeared at the intersection. They drove towards the Green Cloud Mountain range with their headlights on. Su Jingxing was not in a hurry to move. He was still waiting on the roof. Sure enough, not long after, a second convoy appeared. After a while, a third convoy appeared. Su Jingxing waited until a total of 6 convoys appeared at the intersection before he soared into the sky. He executed the 8 steps rising dragon and flew towards the northeast of the Green Cloud Mountain range against the night wind. The journey was unhurried. After all, the mountain paths were long and winding. The cars would take at least an hour to reach the location marked on the map. If Su Jingxing were to arrive early, the probability of an accident was very high. Calculating the time well, and leaving no less than a 10-minute interval would a perfect alliance be formed. That's right, it was an alliance. Temporary allies who would destroy the Shi family's secret base and expose their conspiracies. Whoosh! The night wind blew, and the world was desolate. Su Jingxing flew in a straight line in the air. It took him more than 20 minutes to reach his destination. Executing the ghost python breath-concealing technique and restraining his aura completely, Su Jingxing first found the entrance to the Shi family's secret base. Then, after about 10 minutes, he circulated 60 years of true energy cultivation and slashed out. Boom! While a loud bang broke the silence in the mountain, he savagely knocked down a wall at the entrance of the base. Amidst the billowing dust, Su Jingxing rushed in with his saber. Who is it? Enemies are invading. Enemies are invading. Where are they? Where are they? Before Su Jingxing entered, the base was already in chaos. One by one, the guards were roused from their dreams and hurriedly ran around with their guns. To this. Swish. 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 Su Jingxing swung his blade repeatedly. Upwind single slash. Sweeping river army slash. Ascending Dragon Overlord slash. Who? 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 Saber lights flashed and the blade rang. Ah! 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 Miserable shrieks followed, spreading out of the base and echoing through the silent mountains. The first convoy of cars arrived at the foot of the mountain. Hearing the commotion, the people who alighted from cars quickly grabbed their weapons and guns and dashed up the mountain. Boom! Boom! Su Jingxing held a treasure weapon in his hand. As he killed the guards and sacrificial soldiers guarding the base, he destroyed some of the facilities and caused an explosion, causing an even louder commotion. Until he was stopped by a tall old man with a thin face and gloomy eyes. He was holding a long sword that was flickering with a dim light. Stone Annihilator, we haven't even gone to look for you, yet you dare to come here. Killing intent shot out from the old man's eyes as his aura rose steadily. As soon as he finished speaking, he swung the long sword in his hand and it turned into a venomous snake, spitting out sinister and cold true energy and thrusting towards Su Jingxing. Who? Su Jingxing slashed down. Boom! Saber energy and sword energy collided and dissipated. The resulting shockwave crashed into the walls on the two sides and the ground, leaving deep marks. 4th grade. Once an expert made his move, the details were known. The 4th grade realm, the fluctuations of almost 60 years of true energy could not deceive. As a result, even though Su Jingxing didn't know the old man opposite him, he knew that he was a 4th grade expert and the sword technique he used was also the Shi family's ultimate technique. The 9-in soul-shattering sword. This sword technique was crafty, vicious, fierce, and bone-chillingly cold. Once it entered the body, only the internal exercise that was not masculine and hot could resist it. Even though Su Jingxing managed to defeat it, the chilling aura around him was still there. Energies surged, and Su Jingxing controlled his protective true energy to repel the surrounding aura. At the same time, the treasure weapon in his hand was infused with heaven-trampling true energy as he continued to unleash his second slash. However, the moment he slashed out, he suddenly turned around and released it behind him. Swoosh! Swish! Boom! The saber energy and sword energy whistled through the air simultaneously, colliding with one another and exploding into a ball. The shockwave created by the force swept through the corridor. Dust flew everywhere it passed. Su Jingxing remained in the same spot and stood sideways. Behind him was an old woman with her hair half black and half white. She also held a long sword in her hand as she stared coldly at Su Jingxing. One in front and one behind, an old man and an old woman. 2 4th grades blocked Su Jingxing in the center of the corridor. I knew that the Shi family has quite a few 4th grade martial artists. Faced with the old man and the old woman's converging attack, Su Jingxing did not panic or fear. While he pondered inwardly, he decisively mobilized 100 years of true energy cultivation. Swoosh! First, he slashed at the old man. Ascending Dragon Overlord slash, Human Origin section of the 3 Origins Saber Art. Boom! The force of 100 years of heaven trampling true energy gushed out along with the saber technique. It transformed into a massive wave of saber energy in midair and swept out with an unparalleled aura. Before it even got close, shock appeared on the old man's face. In his haste, he didn't dare to hold back any longer. He channeled all of his true energy into his palm and delivered it into the treasure weapon in his hand. With a swing of his long sword, a cold and icy sword aura was born in an instant. It transformed into numerous poisonous snakes that met the violent saber energy head-on. Boom! Boom! The moment the sword energy and saber energy collided, Su Jingxing had already turned around and clashed head-on with the old woman. He did not brandish his treasure weapon. Instead, he executed the 100 Steps King Fist. Similarly, he unleashed 100 years of cultivation to send a punch straight at the old woman. A silvery black fist imprint appeared almost instantly, charging towards the ashen-faced old woman. The old woman brandished the long sword in her hand as sword energy sliced through the air in an attempt to shatter the fist imprint. Unfortunately. Bam! Boom! A dull thud soon followed with an explosion. The surging shockwave swept the airflow and generated rings of visible energies that wreaked havoc in the pathway. The old man and old woman were sent flying by the saber energy and fist imprint one after another. In midair, they vomited blood. Before they fell to the ground, an even faster shockwave wrapped around them. While stirring up their protective true energies, it pushed backwards with an even more aggressive force. With two loud bangs, the powerful impact slammed the old man and old woman hard into a metal wall. The terrifying force created a dent in the wall, causing it to deform severely. The old man and the old woman were embedded in the depression. Even though they were still alive, they were unable to move. Disbelief could be seen on their pale faces as blood flowed out from the corners of their mouths. One slash. One punch. They were all in the 4th grade, yet Su Jingxing had defeated the old man and the old woman with just one strike and one punch. This result was unacceptable to them. Even though they could sense that the terrifying power contained in Su Jingxing's slash and punch was not something that an ordinary 4th grade martial artist could possess. But it was precisely because of this that the old man and old woman found the outcome difficult to accept. They couldn't figure out how Su Jingxing had cultivated. How could someone's true energy cultivation be so terrifying? The earlier slash and punch contained at least 90 years of cultivation. Or rather, 100 years. 4th grade with 100 years of cultivation. The old man and the old woman's eyes were filled with shock at this thought. Swish. Swish. A shrill sound of air breaking abruptly sounded. The old man, who opened his mouth with difficulty to say something, only saw a flash of white light pass his eyes before he lost consciousness. A throwing dagger penetrated his head. Another throwing dagger penetrated the old woman's head. 4th grade. Under 100 years of heaven trampling true energy cultivation, an ordinary 4th grade was nothing more than this. Swoosh. Swoosh. Retracting the two throwing daggers, Su Jingxing walked towards the old man and old woman and extracted a card from each person. Then, he held them in his palm and read the descriptions while observing his surroundings. As expected, both cards were bloodline cards. Putting the cards into his palm space, Su Jingxing held his saber and continued moving deeper into the base. Behind him. Kill. Kill all the members of the Shi family. Luckily we came in time. Otherwise, there'd be nothing left for us. Old Shi, get out here. Boom. 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 Angry yells, snarls, and explosions sounded constantly. The rest of the convoys had arrived. They rushed into the base and started killing, reaping the gains. At the last secret base, as Su Jingxing was in a hurry to save the girls and had no time to search around, he missed the opportunity to collect the loot. He only had 2 leftover buckets of corpse-dissolving liquid that he brought out from the equipment warehouse left in his palm storage. This time, Su Jingxing was not in a hurry. Naturally, he had time to reap the rewards. Of course, before that, he had to find some people first. Why did the Shi family capture Yi Yunru, Kai Gongxian, Yi Jiuchong and more but not kill them? Su Jingxing searched with this curiosity. He killed all the guards and sacrificial soldiers he met and extracted cards. Yet, even after Su Jingxing went deep into the base and searched every corner, he still couldn't find where the people were imprisoned. Along the way, he didn't encounter a single expert from the Shi family. It seemed that the old man and old woman were the only 4th grade experts in this base. And they were in charge of everything. The martial artists from the Stone Annihilation Alliance were nowhere to be seen. As if they weren't here to begin with. Su Jingxing refused to believe this. He kept 2 people alive and questioned them on where the captives were locked up. The two guards actually answered that they didn't know. You don't know? How can you not know? Su Jingxing exerted strength in his hand and the treasure weapon he had against one of the guard's neck quickly cut open the skin on his neck. Fresh blood flowed out. I really don't know. Big brother, sir, grandfather, I really don't know. The guard's entire body stiffened as he desperately begged for mercy. We're just ordinary guards. The area here isn't under our jurisdiction. Every time there's an important matter, such as certain treasures being stored, the members of the Shi family keep us away. Yes, each ordinary guard is responsible for a different area. Another guard trembled as he added, Sir, even if you kill us, we don't know where the secrets of the base are. Of course, there's a secret place that does exist here, but we don't know where exactly. Only members of the Shi family do. What about those sacrificial soldiers? Su Jingxing continued probing. Sacrificial soldiers? The guard was stunned for a moment before realizing what Su Jingxing was referring to. Sir, you're talking about the people from the Shi King guards, right? They do know more than us, but those people are all brainwashed and only listen to the orders of the Shi family. It's impossible to get them to reveal their secrets, because they will commit S***icide immediately. It's not S***icide, it's self-destruction. The other guard continued, every member of the Shi King guards possesses a secret ability that allows them to explode their bodies. Once they are caught, or when they know that they are sure to die, they will choose to self-destruct. While seriously injuring their opponents, they will also protect the secrets of the Shi family. They're all crazy. They aren't human. Sir, you must be careful when you meet them. Those guys have a one-track mind and will not give you a chance to react. During the self-destruction, even a fourth-grade expert would be injured. Su Jingxing remained silent. Clearly, the style of the Shi King guards was unexpected. It seemed like Su Jingxing had been fast enough the last time he destroyed the Shi family's secret base at Turtleback Mountain. The sacrificial soldiers of the Stone King guards also wanted to stop him and did not self-destruct immediately. Otherwise, if they had planned to plot against the unguarded him, he wouldn't have been able to save the girls so easily. Of course, these two guards might still be holding back with the information they had shared, but that was basically everything. Su Jingxing, whose soul power had been significantly boosted, could tell whether or not they were lying. Therefore, that the sacrificial soldiers of the Shi King guards could not be interrogated made things rather troublesome. There was another secret place in the base, but few knew its exact location. What to do? Big brother, no, great sir, look, I've already told you everything. Are you? The guard smiled stiffly and begged for mercy. Trying to leave? A low shout suddenly sounded. Su Jingxing turned his head and saw 5 people armed with weapons walking towards him with murderous intent. The leader was a burly man with a cold and domineering gaze. As the group of people walked towards Su Jingxing, they shouted, "People from the Shi family, you're thinking of leaving? You're dreaming. And you. He could not bring himself to finish his sentence. The burly man looked at Su Jingxing with shock, fear and wariness in his eyes. What about me? Su Jingxing countered in a low voice. No, nothing. The burly man laughed dryly and waved his hand. We're just passing by. Yes, we're just passing by. Please continue, sir. We'll leave first. With that, he turned around to escape. Yen, who scared you? An aged voice rang out. Another group of people walked over from behind the burly man. The old man leading them narrowed his eyes and stared at the burly man with a shadow of a smile. Fourth Masterly, you came at the right time. The burly man, however, was delighted. Excitement appeared on his face. As he turned around, he pointed at Su Jingxing and introduced him to the old man. Fourth Masterly, this big shot is here too. Didn't you say you wanted to meet him? Now you both have really bumped into each other this time. The old man's expression changed when he heard this. When he got a clear look of Su Jingxing's attire, the corners of his eyes twitched madly. He wanted to retreat, but he realized that Su Jingxing was already looking at him. He quickly stopped and forced a smile. He cupped his hands at Su Jingxing and said, "So it's guest Elder Lin. What a coincidence. I didn't expect you to be here too." "What? Guest Elder Lin is also here?" Another voice sounded from behind the old man. This time, it was the rough and deep male voice. When he heard the old man's words, his footsteps immediately quickened and he walked over heavily. After a while, a muscular man with resolute features and sharp eyes appeared in front of Su Jingxing. The moment he appeared, he spotted Su Jingxing. His eyes lit up as he cupped his hands from a distance and said, "It's really guest Elder Lin. I didn't expect to meet guest Elder Lin here. This is great. I'm Zhou Wensen from the Zhou family. Greetings, guest Elder Lin. Ha, I am Li Lilo from the Li family. Greetings, guest Elder Lin." The old man quickly added and introduced himself. My name is Yan Yuanfeng." The burly man followed behind and introduced himself. "I'm the deputy sect master of the Iron Thread sect. If guest Elder Lin does visit the Iron Thread sect, I'll definitely let you taste the best tea leaves." "Just tea leaves?" Zhou Wensen glanced at him and chuckled. "Don't tell me you can't bear to bring out your Iron Thread silver flower." "Of course I can. I'm only doing that when guest Elder Lin comes." Yan Yuanfeng scowled at Zhou Wensen. Then, he looked at Su Jingxing and smiled apologetically. "Guest Elder Lin, don't listen to this Zhou fellow sowing discord." "Hey, when did I?" "That's enough." Su Jingxing interrupted their nonsense and said in a low voice, "You guys must have come here to rescue people too, right?" Su Jingxing had thought wrong previously. He had forgotten that according to the information provided by Shen Qian and the rest, the major factions in Qinghe City had sent many people to visit the Shi family estate at night. In the end, not a single person had returned. These people were most likely captured here just like the martial artists from the Stone Annihilation Alliance. Zhou Wensen, Li Lilo, and Yan Yuanfeng had brought men over firstly, to seize the opportunity to do some looting. And secondly, probably to rescue those people. As for calling Su Jingxing guest Elder Lin, they had clearly regarded Su Jingxing as a guest elder of Lin Tuotian's Lin family. Little did they know that Su Jingxing and Lin Tuotian now had nothing to do with each other after the duel ended. Of course, Su Jingxing didn't clear up this misunderstanding. As soon as he asked this question, Li Lilo and the two others no longer hid anything from one another. Zhou Wensen's expression turned serious. He answered first, "That's right. According to the information we received, our men have been captured here, but we don't know where they are being held." "They don't know either." Yan Yuanfeng looked at the two guards who were subdued by Su Jingxing. "I just interrogated them. They only know that there is a secret place in this base, but they don't know where it is located," Su Jingxing said in a low voice. "I also looked around and indeed, I didn't find any holding cells." Li Lilo agreed. "Then what should we do?" Yan Yuanfeng frowned. "Is there an underground chamber here?" "Definitely." Zhou Wensen nodded and analyzed, "There must be one. The key is where is it?" "Unfortunately, Shi Zhiruan and Shi Zhiyun are already dead." Li Lilo sighed. "Yeah, those two would certainly know the location." Yan Yuanfeng sighed as well. "I wonder who killed them. If you're talking about an old man and an old woman, then I'm sorry, I killed them," Su Jingxing said calmly. The corners of Yan Yuanfeng's eyes twitched. He stood awkwardly on the spot again. He did not know if he should cry or laugh. Li Lilo and Zhou Wensen weren't surprised. Su Jingxing had even killed Helian Shuezhen and Ji Min. So what was Shi Zhiruan and Shi Zhiyun to him? If not for the fact that Su Jingxing was powerful, why would the two of them, both fourth grades, keep him company and speak to him so politely. It was because they knew how powerful Su Jingxing was, so they wanted to see if they could rope him into their family clan. Li Lilo and Zhou Wensen each had their own plans. Only, they did not share them out loud or show it on their faces. We don't know the location, this is troublesome. Boom! A deafening sound suddenly came from the corridor on the right side of the corner where they were. Accompanying the sound was the shaking of the floor and ceiling. A strong smell of blood soon followed. Li Lilo and Zhou Wensen's expressions changed drastically when they caught the scent. Not good. With that, the two of them pushed off their toes and flew towards the corridor that was the source of the commotion. Their men quickly followed behind. What's going on? Yan Yuanfeng was confused. Su Jingxing ignored him and also joined them in a flash. Hey, wait for me! Yan Yuanfeng shouted and followed behind. His men ran behind him. The group had just rushed into the corridor. Boom! Another loud crash shook the ceiling and floor again. This time, after the crash, an excited laughter came from the depths of the passageway. Ha ha ha, it's a success, it's a success. There was a strange sound and the laughter was cut off abruptly. Li Lilo, Zhou Wensen, and Su Jingxing were the fastest. When they arrived at the source of the sound, they saw a large hole in the ground. A tall figure covered in blood reached out and grabbed a unibrow man. A sharp claw pierced through his chest. Shi Jinluan. Shi Zini. How is this possible? Zhou Wensen and Li Lilo exclaimed. Shi Zini. Shi Jinluan. What are they? Swoosh. Before Su Jingxing could finish speaking, a cold, bloodthirsty, crazy, and fanatical gaze swept towards the opening where Zhou Wensen, Li Lilo, and Su Jingxing stood. Boom! A loud bang interrupted Zhou Wensen's words. It was the owner of the bloodthirsty gaze, the tall figure covered in blood. His aura burst forth and turned into a blood-colored pillar of light as he dashed towards the opening. As for the unibrow man whose chest was pierced through, he shattered into a dozen pieces with a loud bang. Boom! The air exploded and the ground blew up. Su Jingxing took multiple steps back, and Zhou Wensen and Li Lilo did the same. They both used their lightness skills to dodge the blood-colored pillar. Although the latter missed, it charged out of the cave and buried into the ceiling of the corridor, creating a huge pit immediately. Countless gravel mixed with powder scattered in the corridor. Roar! A beast-like roar resounded throughout the base before the dust settled. Su Jingxing released his true energy and swept away the dust. What he saw was a tall figure covered in blood coming down from the ceiling and standing in the corridor. His body was surrounded by a fierce and tyrannical aura. A long blood-colored snake. No, a lifelike blood-colored long worm coiled and twisted around the tall figure as it emitted boundless blood energy. Under this blood energy, Su Jingxing felt as if a mountain was pressing down on his chest, making it difficult for him to breathe. His blood was surging. His limbs trembled uncontrollably, but his body remained stiff on the spot, unable to move at all. Fear that he had never felt before struck his heart. Danger. Extreme danger. Facing this blood-colored worm, a shiver that came from the depths of his soul crawled into Su Jingxing's heart with everything. It was so stimulating that his entire body trembled and his mind went blank. While he was sincerely terrified, his survival instincts made him visualize a secret ability in his mind. The demonic heaven trampling elephant diagram. This was the last mental secret ability recorded in the secret manual of the 9 steps trampling heaven by the Wei ancestors. Su Jingxing had only simulated it in his mind and never tested it out. The reason was that his soul power was insufficient. But at this moment, in the face of the terrifying might of the blood-colored flood dragon, fear came from the depths of his soul. The demonic heaven-trampling elephant diagram automatically circulated, mobilizing little soul power to visualize the heaven-trampling elephant in his mind. In the end, Su Jingxing only heard a short elephant trumpet. He didn't even manage to visualize a vague image of the heaven-trampling elephant before he felt a sharp pain in his brain and regained consciousness. Even though he had failed, this clarity allowed Su Jingxing to leave the fear of the blood-colored WIRM and regain control of his body. As soon as he regained freedom, he threw a punch at the tall figure covered in blood. The true energy cultivated circulated was 200 years. The strength amplified by the 100 steps raining fist was fully unleashed, stacking with each step. In an instant, a force of more than 200,000 caddies broke through the air, triggering a loud bang. In a flash, it ruthlessly collided with the tall figure that was about to pounce towards Su Jingxing. The terrifying power shattered the figure's surrounding energy in an instant. Then, it struck the tall figure and forcefully tore apart the blood-colored WIRM dragon that coiled around his body. Bam! Accompanied by an angry roar, the crimson WIRM exploded, transforming into countless streams of blood-red energy that surged into the surroundings, shattering the air and blowing up the walls. The tall figure was pushed forward as well. He flew backward at lightning speed and crashed through multiple walls. Boom! 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 Deafening explosions were continuously heard along with the dust that rose. Until the sounds faded and stopped completely, the huge base then regained some of its vitality. Moments later, screams, wails, growls, and moans could be heard from every corner. Su Jingxing leaned against the wall in exhaustion, his heart beating fast. Thump! 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 For the first time in his life, Su Jingxing felt that listening to his own heartbeat was such a wonderful feeling. Thank you. More than 10 meters away, Zhou Wenchan leaned against the wall and looked at Su Jingxing. As he thanked him, he panted heavily. Li Lilo was more or less in the same state. He was panting like an ox and there was still fear lingering on his face. Martial art true intent. Scherzini, actually condensed martial art true intent. He actually successfully advanced to 3rd grade. 3rd grade? Martial art true intent? No. He hasn't. Yan Yuanfeng's voice rang out. He, who was still in shock, slowly walked out from behind Su Jingxing, Li Lilo, and Zhou Wensen. Scherzini hasn't reached the 3rd grade yet. The martial art true intent of that blood-colored WIRM was not completely solid either. If it was, the martial art true intent wouldn't be shattered so easily. As he spoke, agitation appeared on Yan Yuanfeng's face. He looked at Su Jingxing with a fanatical gaze and said excitedly, "Of course, this doesn't affect guest Elder Lin. Although Scherzini isn't a true 3rd grade, he's still invincible among 4th grade martial artists. Guest Elder Lin was able to shatter his martial art true intent with a single punch and send Scherzini flying 100 meters out. Even if the power of this punch isn't as strong as 3rd grade martial artists, it isn't much inferior. That's right. We owe it to guest Elder Lin. Otherwise, we would have already died in the hands of Scherzini," Zhou Wensen said gratefully again. "I was defending myself too." Su Jingxing spoke in a low voice. His eyes flickered as he looked in the direction of the hole where the tall figure covered in blood disappeared into. This tall figure was also the previous patriarch of the Shi family, Scherzini. Su Jingxing's heart raced. Su Jingxing had a very deep impression of this formidable man who had single-handedly built up the Shi family to become the top family clan of the Western District. He probably wouldn't be able to forget him in the short term. He's not dead. Su Jingxing lowered his voice. This previous patriarch of the Shi family is in a very strange state. The Shi Jinluan that you people just called out to earlier had died in his hands. That's right. Scherzini killed Shi Jinluan. If I'm not mistaken, he has suffered a chi deviation. Li Lilo took a deep breath and said. What? Shi Zihaini killed Shi Jinluan? Yan Yuanfeng cried out in alarm. Isn't Shi Jinluan his son? Did the old man take the wrong medicine? He even killed his own son. Even if he has suffered chi deviation, he shouldn't have become like this. Chi deviation? Su Jingxing raised his eyebrows. I already said that he has suffered from chi deviation. Shi Zihaini has lost his rationality. He doesn't recognize Shi Jinluan. In his mind right now, there's only madness, killing, and bloodthirst, Zhou Wensen said angrily. Under such circumstances, there's nothing surprising that Shi Jinluan appeared beside him and was killed by him. It's completely expected. Air. Yan Yuanfeng smacked his lips. You all seem to know that something will happen to Shi Zini? Su Jingxing asked. That's right. Guest Elder Lin is unaware, but our families have always been wary of the Shi family. The problem lies with Shi Zini. Li Lilo took a deep breath and said seriously, that old bastard Shi Zini has always wanted to replace my Li family and become the #1 martial arts family in Qinghe City. In order to achieve this goal, he will do anything. A few years ago, we received news that we didn't know whether was true or not. Shi Zini had obtained a heretic art. Heretic art? Yan Yuanfeng exclaimed. How come I don't know? Li Lilo ignored him and continued, Shi Zini seemed to have obtained a heretic art. It was rumored that it could allow him to advance to the 3rd grade. In order to verify the authenticity of this news, we sent many people to infiltrate the Shi family to gather information, but we never found anything. It wasn't until this time, when all of our people were captured and brought to this secret base, that I was 90% certain that Shi Zini had indeed cultivated a heretic art. When I heard that loud crash and caught the strong scent of blood, I further confirmed that Shi Zini had succeeded in doing so. However, it was a little unexpected that he would suffer from chi deviation. But on second thought, it made sense. How could it be possible for a heretic art that depends on using a large amount of blood to be successfully cultivated and bring one to the 3rd grade to be completely risk-free? Including martial art true intent, Zhou Wensen added. The martial art true intent condensed through cultivating heretic art might be stronger, but correspondingly, it's also harder to control. Martial art true intent? Shi Zini succeeded. A clear voice sounded. Li Linzhou, Wang Taidao, a muscular man, and a woman with a large leopard cat beside her walked down the corridor where Su Jingxing, Li Lilo, and the others were. Qi Xinjue, 4th Sister Qi. Zhao Zhongyi, Chief Zhao. And Commander Li, Boss Wang, you're finally here. Yan Yuanfeng turned his head and looked at them. He grinned and said, you guys missed the good show just now. It's such a pity. As for Shi Zini, that's right. He condensed martial art true intent, but in the end, it was shattered by a single punch from guest Elder Lin. Li Linzhou, Wang Taidao, and the others lifted their heads and looked at Su Jingxing in surprise. It's true. Seeing this, Li Lilo chimed in, Shi Zini has advanced to the 3rd grade, but his realm is not stable. The martial art true intent condensed is also not complete and could dissipate at any time. Most importantly, he advanced to the pseudo 3rd grade through cultivating a heretic art. Even though he made a breakthrough, he has also suffered chi deviation. Chi deviation? Humph, good. The muscular man, Zhao Zhongyi, sneered. Unexpected, so unexpected. Wang Taidao sighed. Where is he now? Li Linzhou frowned. How is Shi Zini doing? There, it's in the deepest part over there. Yan Yuanfeng turned around slightly and pointed at the large hole in the wall that Shi Zini had made. This was created by guest Elder Lin. He raised his eyebrows. Guest Elder Lin destroyed his martial art true intent with a single punch and sent Shi Zini flying. He's most likely lying unconscious in the ruins. No, he's here. Su Jingxing tensed up. Li Lilo, Zhou Wensen, Wang Taidao, Zhao Zhongyi and the rest also felt their hearts racing. Li Linzhou immediately pulled out a long sword that was like water. He aimed at the hole and released streaks of sword energy. Swish! 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 Sword energy tore through the air, heading straight for the depths of the hole. Move, everyone else, quickly leave this place. With a solemn expression, Li Lilo ordered his men to leave quickly. Yes, yes. Everyone, retreat immediately. Yan Yuanfeng snapped back and called for his men to leave the base. In the pseudo-third grade, even if his foundation was unstable from just making the breakthrough, the strength he possessed was not something that martial artists in the lower ranks could resist. Even for 6th grade or 5th grade martial artists, few would be able to withstand it. Su Jingxing was different. He was an exception. The existence of a cheat ability was not something others could compare to. Shirzini had suffered chi deviation. He had lost all rationality and was bloodthirsty and violent. To be honest, there was no need for Su Jingxing to fight him head-on. However, if this previous patriarch of the Shi family were to regain consciousness and sought revenge on him, he would be in deep trouble. Other than a few Shi descendants who were still alive, the rest of the Shi family was almost completely wiped out by him. Once Shirzini sobered up, he would definitely seek revenge. Finding Su Jingxing was within expectation. Although Su Jingxing had disguised his appearance and never showed his face, no one could guarantee that he would always be safe. The best way was to nip the problem in the bud. In other words, Shirzini must die. Now that there were so many people, if they attacked together, there was a high chance that they would be able to kill this martial artist in the pseudo-third grade. After all, Li Lilo, Zhou Wensen, Wang Taidao, Yan Yuanfeng, Zhao Zhongyi, Qi Xinjue, and Li Linzhou all had a reason to kill him. Although Li Linzhou was the commander of city governance of Qinghe City's martial suppression office, he didn't seem to have any grudges with the Shi family. Yet, on the contrary, once Shirzini regained consciousness, Li Linzhou would be the first person he kills. This was because Li Linzhou had approved the Lin family's dual application against the Shi family. If Li Linzhou wasn't the referee, the Shi family wouldn't have bothered with Lin Tuotian. The Shi family suffered heavy casualties, and Li Linzhou had a part in it. Under such circumstances, would Shirzini let Li Linzhou off? Impossible. Whether it was for himself, or to safeguard the stability in Qinghe City, Li Linzhou had to kill Shirzini. Thus, there was no need to say anything, no need to signal with their eyes, the 7 of them made their decision at the same time. Get rid of Shirzini. Let's go outside. Li Lilo's expression changed when he saw a tall figure stepping out from the ruins. He shouted in a low voice. We can only join forces against him if we go outside. As soon as he finished speaking, he retreated swiftly towards the exit of the base. Zhou Wensen, Yan Yuanfeng, Wang Taidao, Qi Xinjue and the rest followed closely behind. Su Jingxing thought for a moment and also moved towards the exit. There were too many passageways in the base, the area of activity was limited, it was disadvantageous for the encirclement. It would be easier to kill Shirzini if they went to the open area outside. Everyone knew this. Because of this, everyone quickly left the base. Roar! Almost at the same time, a beast-like roar resounded throughout the mountain. Boom! The sound of air exploding came from the base. The group had just left the base and were waiting outside. Hearing this roar, everyone's expressions changed. Chi deviation. Shirzini was still in a state of chi deviation. In this state, he feels no pain, no emotions, only knows killing. Surrounding and killing him was undoubtedly the most difficult. But in this situation, they had to take action. Roar! The roar echoed throughout the mountain peak. Boom! With a loud bang, the ground shook. While everyone watched, Scherzini, who was covered in blood with a crimson-red WIRM coiling around him, appeared once more. That's right, Scherzini had manifested the martial art true intent shattered by Su Jingxing again. It was not possible for a force like martial art true intent to be completely shattered, unless the martial artist controlling it was dead. As long as the martial artist did not die, no matter how many times it was shattered, it could reappear. Of course, it was not that simple to repeatedly manifest martial art true intent. The reason was because every time it shattered, the martial artist's mind, will, and spirit would suffer a heavy blow. If the shattering were to happen multiple times, the person would collapse. Moreover, each time it remanifests, the interval required would range from as long as 1 to 2 days to at least an hour. This was related to the martial artist's mental strength. Those with strong mental power require short intervals, and the martial art true intent would also last longer after being manifested. Conversely, it would be weak. Scherzini's martial art true intent had only been shattered by Su Jingxing for less than 10 minutes, yet it had remanifested so quickly. It could be imagined just how much his mental strength had expanded. For others, one instance of their martial art true intent shattering and their minds, wills, and spirits would be severely damaged. Scherzini did not need to. No, it was more accurate to say that in his chi deviation, he did not sense all that. There was no pain, no fear, no rationality, only a crazed desire for blood. In this state, martial art true intent could naturally be retracted and released at will. Roar! The snarls of Scherzini, who charged out of the entrance of the base, echoed through the forest. The seemingly corporeal blood-colored WIRM once again unleashed a terrifying blood aura. The invisible pressure crashed through the air, spreading out in all directions with Scherzini at its center, extending over 100 meters. Whoosh! Swoosh! Li Linzhou, Yan Yuanfeng, Li Lilo, Zhou Wensen, and the others didn't need to be reminded. They used their lightness skills and quickly moved away from Scherzini. Among them, Qi Xinjue, who rode a large leopard cat, was the fastest. Without leaving behind any afterimages, only the sound of rushing wind could be heard as the man and beast shot out hundreds of meters away. Compared to them, Su Jingxing was much simpler. He didn't remain on the ground but charged straight into the air. After executing the 8 steps rising dragon, his entire body turned into a dragon-shaped trail and soared hundreds of meters into the sky. Stopping in the air, he did not rest and directly circulated 100 years of his true energy cultivation into his right hand and began executing the 100 steps raining fist. From a high vantage point, he dived down, locking onto Scherzini and punched out. Boom! An explosion louder than a sonic boom reverberated in all directions. The silvery black fist imprint carrying 1,000,000 caddies of strength rushed towards Scherzini under the acceleration of gravity. Roar! On the ground, Scherzini seemed to sense something as he roared towards the sky. His scarlet eyes locked onto the fist imprint. Bang! The earth shook. Countless cracks appeared beneath Scherzini's feet. Scherzini, who had the blood-red WIRM wrapped around him, didn't dodge or show any fear. Rather, he directly faced the fist imprint and shot into the air. A shockwave erupted, and dust flew everywhere. Scherzini, which had transformed into a blood-colored beam of light, carried a torrential sanguine suppression as he clashed with the descending fist imprint in midair. Boom! A heavy blast echoed through the sky. Under the tearing of the martial art true intent, the silvery black fist imprint did not dissipate immediately. Instead, it collided with the blood-colored WIRM, causing it to flicker. In the end, it shattered with a crash. The shockwave produced swept through the air and ground. In the sky, a vortex that was like a hurricane swept through all the cloud layers and spread out for over a kilometer. On the ground, the trees on the entire mountain were rustling, lifting countless fallen leaves that danced wildly in the forest and flew everywhere. Scherzini was struck down by the massive force the same way he charged into the sky. The heavy force smashed into the ground, creating a deep pit about 4 to 5 meters deep. Beyond its diameters of a dozen meters, long cracks that twisted sinisterly like pythons were seen. Swoosh! Swoosh! Qi Xinjue, Li Linzhou, Li Lilo, and the rest who had retreated, returned as expected. As Shirzini stood up at the bottom of the pit and prepared to charge into the sky again, they released their true energy. Sword energy, saber energy, palm imprints, fist imprints. All sorts of attacks rained down on Shirzini at once. Shirzini, who did not have any martial art true intent protecting him, was sent staggering from the impact. He roared in anger. His already bare upper body was covered in lacerations and dripping with blood. Clearly, his physical body had not been strengthened by the heretic art and was only as strong as it was before. In the face of the joint attacks, he lost his ability to resist after a few moves. But soon, a brand new blood-red WIRM appeared again, coiling around Shirzini and releasing terrifying blood energy. Swoosh! Whoosh! The party decisively retreated. They dodged the terrifying pressure of the martial art true intent. In the air. Su Jingxing stepped on air and also rose several hundred meters back up. Then, he mobilized 100 years of cultivation again and sent another punch towards Shirzini through the 100 steps raining fist. Bang! 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 The punch landed and the air exploded throughout the way. The fist that carried 1,000,000 caddies of strength, under the boost of the acceleration of gravity, struck Shirzini who had escaped the pit once again. Boom! With a loud explosion, the blood-colored WIRM surrounding Shirzini shattered and dissipated. As for Shirzini himself, he was knocked back into the pit by the remaining force of the punch, and fell more than a meter deeper than before. The number of cracks at the edge of the pit doubled, becoming even more dense and numerous. Swoosh! Whoosh! Li Linzhou, Qi Xinjue, Li Lilo, and the others swiftly rushed back. Roar! Shirzini, who had broken bones, torn flesh, and blood all over his body, snarled as he rushed out from the pit. However, before he could exert his strength, sword energy, saber energy, palm imprints, fist imprints. Various attacks poured down onto his body once more, adding more wounds to his body and causing blood to spurt further. Shirzini, who felt no pain, roared again and again as the blood-colored WIRM manifested once more. Swoosh! Whoosh! Li Linzhou, Yan Yuanfeng, Qi Xinjue, and the others saw this and continued to retreat. By the time Shirzini completely manifested the blood-red WIRM, Su Jingxing had already smashed his fist down. It still contained 1,000,000 caddies of strength. Under the acceleration of gravity, it ruthlessly struck Shirzini, shattering his martial art true intent and throwing him back to the bottom of the pit, making it even deeper. Roar! Shirzini roared and struggled out of the pit. Swoosh! Swoosh! Li Linzhou and company quickly returned. Another wave of attacks sliced off one of Shirzini's legs and hands. Once Shirzini was about to manifest his martial art true intent, the group would retreat in advance. On the other hand, Su Jingxing, who was in the air, would circulate 100 years of cultivation to drop a punch. Boom! Roar! Boom! Roar! One punch after another. Again and again. In the state of chi deviation, Shirzini endured a full 10 times before he finally stopped breathing. In the end, under Su Jingxing's attacks, all that was left of his martial art true intent was a silhouette. Shirzini himself had also been reduced to a human staff. Only his remaining head and half of the upper body were connected. Inferior Bloodseeker corpse discovered. Would you like to extract it? Yes. Su Jingxing responded inwardly, but his countenance remained unchanged on the surface. Of course, since he was wearing a mask, the rest would not be able to tell either. He was just curious. Inferior Bloodseeker corpse. Shirzini's corpse was actually named as some inferior bloodseeker corpse. Could it be that after cultivating the heretic art, this formidable figure of the Shi family, whose name had been well known throughout the entire Qinghe city, had turned into a different race and was no longer human? On second thought, there were indeed many obvious clues. The most obvious was Shirzini. After his martial art true intent was shattered by Su Jingxing, his physical body was able to resist the joint attacks of Li Linzhou, Li Lilo, and the others for as many as 10 times. There was a huge hole in his chest. His limbs were broken, and his head was mostly damaged. Even so, he could still manifest his martial art true intent until he was deader than dead. Even a first-grade martial artist would not have such a system. Bloodseeker. The heretic art that the old fellow cultivated could turn people into bloodseekers. Other than humans and barbarians, is there another terrifying race hidden on Earthstar? Su Jingxing thought to himself. He was looking forward to finding out what the card he had extracted from Shirzini's corpse was. For the other members of the Shi family, regardless of whether they were in the 4th grade or 9th grade, all the cards extracted from them were bloodline cards. They unlocked to give the 3 Yin candles blood. Shirzini was the only exception. What would be a reward better than the 3 Yin candles blood? Phew. Finally done. Yan Yuanfeng let out a breath and lamented in exhaustion, this heretic art cultivated by Shirzini is too overbearing. Not only could he manifest martial art true intent, even his vitality was greatly boosted. He was only forced to die in the end. That's right. I'm curious about the heretic art that his old patriarch cultivated. What is it? Zhao Zhongyi murmured. Why? Do you want to try it too, Chief Zhao? Li Lilo chuckled. Ha, I'm just curious. I want to see what heretic art is so powerful. Zhao Zhongyi waved his hand and said, as for cultivating it, no thanks. Although 3rd grade is good, I haven't lived long enough. Chief Zhao's cultivation might not turn out the same as Shirzini. Perhaps, you will be able to remain sober after cultivating the heretic art, Zhou Wensen said with a smile. No need. Zhao Zhongyi maintained his smile. Brother Zhou, you can give it a try. You might be luckier than me and you'll advance directly to 3rd grade. Ha ha ha. Li Lilo, Yan Yuanfeng and the rest laughed out loud. Only Li Linzhou didn't participate. He first nodded at Su Jingxing before walking straight to the entrance of the base. Seeing this, Yan Yuanfeng also wanted to follow. Li Lilo suddenly pulled him back. What's wrong? Yan Yuanfeng stopped and turned to look at Li Lilo. Cough. Li Lilo took a glance at Li Linzhou, who had already entered the base. He lowered his voice and said, everyone, while we're all here, let's discuss how we will distribute the Shi family. Distribute? Distribute what? Hold on. Suddenly, Su Jingxing was enlightened and came to a realization. Shirzini was dead, and the 2 4th-grade experts of the Shi family were also dead. Shi Jinluan, Shi Jinyong, and the other higher-ups were all dead, except for Shi Jinyan. As long as they killed Shi Jinyan, the Shi family with a 100-year-old legacy could be declared extinct. With the destruction of the Shi family, the huge business left behind and the various resources accumulated would become a gold mine. The Li, Qi, and Zhou families all wanted to devour it. However, it was impossible to take it alone. Hence, the offer to distribute everything in advance was placed in front of everyone. Su Jingxing was the mastermind behind the destruction of the Shi family, and also a 4th-grade expert. Naturally, he was qualified to get a share of the pie. I want $10 billion. Before the others could say anything, Su Jingxing spoke up, I only want 10 billion great dollars. I don't need anything else. Sure, Li Lilo quickly replied. No problem. Yan Yuanfeng nodded. No problem for me too, Zhou Wensen agreed. Zhao Zhongyi, Wang Taidao, and Qi Xinjue all nodded. No one objected. The Shi family's businesses were worth more than 100 billion. Su Jingxing was only taking 1/10 of it. He really wasn't asking for much. Li Lilo, Zhou Wensen and the others even heaved a sigh of relief inwardly. In the division of the Shi family's resources, Su Jingxing was the obstacle they could not bypass. Now that Su Jingxing had chosen money, it saved them a lot of trouble. And Su Jingxing only asked for $10 billion. It was a decision after careful consideration. Firstly, if he were to take those fixed assets of the Shi family and not sell them, he would have to hire someone to manage them. Instead of bringing trouble, he might as well exchange it for money from the start. Secondly, the cultivation resources of the Shi family, including martial arts, elixirs, weapons, and so on, all tended to be of yin and cold attributes. Su Jingxing would not need them. Finally, to completely destroy the Shi family, the major family clans like the Li, Zhou, and Qi families would have to take action. There would be a lot of troublesome matters to deal with. For example, the elderly, women, and the children. The Shi family's collateral descendants in various functional towns and other cities. Whether these people were killed or crippled, something had to be done. In comparison, taking the money and leaving would save Su Jingxing a lot of effort and trouble. Most importantly, Su Jingxing had gotten what he wanted. The 3 yin candles' blood. Together with another $10 billion, it was enough. With this $10 billion, if he were to work with the Stone Annihilation Alliance again in the future, it would be a purely cooperative relationship. After distributing their pie, and setting a time to surround the Shi family's residence at night to get rid of the last few stones, the group returned to the base. First, they went to the underground cave where Shirzini charged out from. Upon arriving, everyone, including Su Jingxing, was shocked. Corpses. In their sight, corpses were everywhere. Suspended in midair, lying on the ground, or leaning against the wall. These corpses that had died not long ago struck everyone's hearts. The reason why they had just died was because there were 2 4 tubes attached to each corpse. One was infused with nutritional fluid, and the other drew blood. The nutritional fluid kept them alive, while the other tube drew blood from blood vessels, and connected to a blood pool deep in the center of the mountain. Other than precious herbs, the heretic art that Shirzini cultivated also required a large amount of human blood. Perhaps beast blood would work too. But Shirzini chose human blood. At the very least, there were no wild beasts' corpses in the spacious underground cave below the base. Instead, there were no less than 500 corpses. A mix of male and female, young and old. Yi Yunru, Kai Gongxian, Yi Jiuchong, and the others were all present. Shirzini wanted to use their blood to cultivate. From the moment Yi Jiuchong and company were captured, they were destined to die. No matter how fast Su Jingxing was, it would be too late. All he could do was bring their corpses back to the ground, burn them into ashes, and send them back to the Stone Annihilation Alliance. Li Lilo, Yan Yuanfeng, Zhou Wensen, and the others did the same. They retrieved the corpses of their subordinates and brought them to the ground to be burnt. As for the remaining corpses, they were all destroyed in the cave. After confirming their identities, Li Linzhou personally poured the corpse-dissolving liquid. There were hundreds of corpses. They still had to make a call back to the city and get someone to transport 2 large trucks of corpse-dissolving liquid. And they were barely enough. The Shi family had a complete disregard for human life and killed countless people. Li Linzhou immediately made a call and instructed the Martial Suppression Office to watch over all the exits and lock down the entire Shi family estate. With such a big move, Shi Jinyan, who had stayed behind in the city, naturally received the news. The old man, failed. Shi Jinyan murmured. In the past, his expression was either somber or composed. Now, his face was covered in confusion. Failed. We paid so much money, expended lots of resources and killed so many people. In the end, he actually failed. Why? Shi Jinyan could not figure it out. It seemed that over the past month or so, things have never gone right for the Shi family. People died every few days. Today, almost everyone in the Shi family who could contribute in terms of strength had died. Initially, I thought that all these could be made up once the old man succeeded. Now, the old man is also dead. What else does the Shi family have left? Shi Jinyan sat in the courtyard, staring blankly at the sky. Dad, something bad has happened. An urgent and nervous shout could be heard. A teenager around 14 or 15 years old ran towards Shi Jinyan in panic. Dad, it's bad. We've been surrounded. All of us are restricted to the estate. We can't leave. Fear was written all over the young man's face. He shivered and swung his hands as he spoke. It's fine. Shi Jinyan regained his focus and said calmly, pass down my orders. Don't panic. We're just temporarily restricted. It will be lifted very soon. Really? The youth hesitated. Dad, it's fine if the people outside are all from the Martial Suppression Office, but I heard that the Li, Zhou, and Qi families are also here. Will they rush in and start a massacre? They won't, Shi Jinyan said with certainty. What they want are our assets, not people. And with the Martial Suppression Office here, they won't dare to kill indiscriminately. Go, tell the others not to panic, just listen to the Martial Suppression Office's arrangements. All right. The young man nodded and turned around to inform the others. Shi Jinyan remained where he was, gazing at the sky as he muttered to himself. You want to devour the Shi family? Fine, I'll give it all to you. In the small courtyard at the foot of the mountain, Su Jingxing took out all the cards he had extracted on this trip. The cards came from the people who stayed behind to keep guard in the Shi family's base and the people who were killed in the cave. There were more than 600. Su Jingxing was most concerned about the card he had extracted from Shi Zini's corpse. Holding it in his hand, he read the description. Regeneration card. Another new card. As the name suggested, the regeneration card could regenerate any organ. Even if his head was cracked or his heart was torn, as long as he could unlock the card within 3 seconds, the organ would regenerate. Of course, there was a prerequisite to regenerating the head and heart. One's consciousness must remain. This was the prerequisite for using the regeneration card. Only when one's consciousness was not destroyed could any organ be regenerated. Therefore, Su Jingxing could at most be able to regenerate all the other organs except the heart, including his limbs. If his head and heart were broken, he would still die. Though it was said that it would work so long as his consciousness remained intact within the 3 seconds of unlocking, but, if his head was gone, would his consciousness still exist? Perhaps for a martial artist in the top ranks, after condensing their martial art true intent, their consciousness would still remain for a short period of time even when their head was broken. The ethereal sword immortal had mentioned this before. When martial art true intent has been cultivated to profundity, it was said that it could separate itself from the body and exist independently. If the physical body was destroyed, the martial art true intent could still remain. The ethereal sword immortal wasn't sure how that could happen. In any case, it was impossible for someone in the lower or middle ranks to achieve. Su Jingxing could only treat this regeneration card as a super strong self-healing card and not a resurrection card. For instance, Shi Zini was filled with extremely powerful vitality when he was alive. Without the joint efforts of Su Jingxing, Li Lilo, and the others that continually destroyed his body, this formidable figure would not have died. Using the regeneration card as a super strong self-healing card was the correct way to use it. This card was also a life-saving trump card. Su Jingxing put it away solemnly and placed it at the outermost area of his palm space. He calmed his mind and checked the other cards. 6 bloodline cards, too little, but also within expectations. 3 true energy cards, unexpected gains. I'll keep all of them as backup. 1 memory card. Surprise! There were 28 skill cards, among which were 7 skills such as cooking, dancing, sculpting, drawing, sketching, or other life skills. The rest were all martial arts. The martial arts were average. Su Jingxing put them aside. 136 internal force cards. The cultivation levels varied. The least was half a month, while the most was 6 years. This number of internal force cards meant that there were this many martial artists in the lower ranks who had died in the cave to provide Shirzini with blood. The remaining cards were either the strength enhancement cards or essence energy cards. Su Jingxing unlocked them one by one and stored the strength pills and essence energy pills he had obtained separately. He also unlocked all the internal force cards. Combined with the ones he had left from before, he had about 200 years of cultivation. He absorbed them and converted them into heaven-trampling true energy, increasing his cultivation by 2 years. Accumulated true energy cultivation, 304 years. Su Jingxing, who was already in the 5th grade, went through another round of tempering. A moment later, he unlocked the 6 bloodline cards and fed the 3 Een candles blood to Thunderbolt. Immediately after, he probed this spirit weapon. It was still an inch away from a complete recovery. Su Jingxing was not in a hurry. There were still members of the Shi family who were alive. He was confident that he could make up for the last bit. The reason why he was so confident was because the only memory card he extracted contained the life memories of a person named Shi Tianjing. Shi Tianjing, an orphan adopted by the Shi family since young, a sacrificial soldier. He was 35 years old this year, but was already a 6th grade martial artist. He almost made it to the 5th grade. Like Nie Rencho, he was one of the team leaders of the Shi King Guards, the leader of a small group of sacrificial soldiers. Su Jingxing unlocked the card and watched Shi Tianjing's life. He was fortunate enough to see a hidden secret of the Shi family. There was a secret passage beneath the Shi family's residence that led to the underground car park of a building 800 meters away. That building did not belong to the Shi family. It was managed by a hidden faction under their control. After they lost the duel, Shi Jinyan had Shi Jinluan open up this passageway, preparing to evacuate the remaining elites of the Shi family. Shi Tianjing was one of the participants. Shi Tianjing had also been to the last secret base of the Shi family and knew where it was located. The Shi family's sacrificial soldiers were trained from a young age. They had nurtured a belief that they would rather die than reveal anything. If they were caught, they would self-destruct. This indeed ensured that Shi Tianjing, Nie Rencho, and the other sacrificial soldiers could do a final counterattack before they died. And had ensured that no outsiders would know about the Shi family's secrets. But Shi Jinyan would never have dreamed that Su Jingxing could extract cards from corpses. He also extracted the memory cards from Shi Tianjing and Nie Rencho's corpses. Through the 2 memory cards, Su Jingxing learned of most of the Shi family's secrets. Underground passageway, the last secret base, Shi Jinyan's evacuation plan. These were left in plain sight for Su Jingxing to admire. Knowing Shi Jinyan's route of retreat, finishing them off and obtaining the bloodline cards would be a breeze. Of course, in order to maximize the effect, Su Jingxing didn't plan to take action in the city. He was going to follow Shi Jinyan to the last secret base of the Shi family and capture all the remaining members of the Shi family in one swoop. Night. Qian Shui Building. Level 3 of the underground car park. In the half-lit, half-dark spacious space, 5 people stood in front of a vent and waited patiently. They were 1 elderly and 4 youths. In a dark corner 100 meters away from them, Su Jingxing held his breath and stared at the vent without blinking. Before the sky turned dark, Su Jingxing had come to the Qian Shui building. Shi Jinyan's escape route, the exit of the underground passageway connected to the Shi family's residence, was this vent where the 2 groups of people were waiting. The ghost python breath-holding technique was circulated to the extreme. Su Jingxing quietly entered the underground car park and waited patiently. During this process, cars drove in and out of the underground car park. Half an hour ago, 2 alighted and turned off the cameras in the corners of the ceiling. 15 minutes ago, the 1 elder and 4 youths arrived at the car park and waited quietly in front of the vent. This scene indicated that Shi Jinyan was about to appear. Indeed. Not long after, the cover of the vent shaft was pushed open from the inside. A slender man crawled out. He was expressionless. He first swept his gaze across the 5 people, then looked around to make sure that no one else was around. Then he turned around and knocked on the ventilation duct 3 times. Moments later, Shi Jinyan came out with 5 other people. Patriarch. When the 5 people who had been waiting saw him, they hurriedly took a few steps forward. The old man in a suit bowed and said, "Patriarch, all arrangements have been made. The car is over there." "Very good. Thank you, old Kai." Shi Jinyan looked around and his gaze landed on the old man. He patted the old man's shoulder and sighed. "I don't know when I'll be back after I leave. No matter how long it takes, we'll always wait for Patriarch to return." Old Kai was a little sad, but his tone was firm. The 4 others also shouted in unison. All right. With you guys around, I'm not worried at all." Shi Jinyan patted old Kai's shoulder again and sighed. "Old Kai, I hope you don't hate me. Patriarch, if it weren't for you, I would have lost my life long ago." "Why would I hate you?" Old Kai said solemnly. "Although I can't leave with you, staying behind and guarding this property for you is serving you all the same. Why would I feel hatred?" That's good. Shi Jinyan sighed. "It's good that you don't hate me. I have no other choice either. Patriarch, please don't be like this. With a strange sound, old Kai's words came to an abrupt halt. His eyes widened as blood gushed out from the corner of his mouth. He looked down at his chest. Over there, a sharp claw covered in true energy pierced through his chest and exited his back. A heart-wrenching pain swept through his entire body. Finally, it gathered in his brain for shock, surprise, and confusion to emerge in his eyes. Looking at the owner of the sharp claw, Shi Jinyan, his eyes were filled with disbelief. He opened his mouth to say something, but in the end, he lowered his head and died. "Uncle Kai!" "Ah!" Shouts and screams then sounded and broke the silence. It was too sudden. Without any warning, Shi Jinyan suddenly struck and killed old Kai, who had done his best for him. The 4 men and women with old Kai had never seen such a thing. They were startled out of their wits at the first moment. When they snapped back to their senses, they screamed, wanting to escape. However, before they could take a step, the people standing around Shi Jinyan made their moves. Swoosh! 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 They were very fast, the short swords in their hands danced. With a series of strange noises, the 4 men and women collapsed in pools of blood, dead. How ruthless! In a dark corner, Su Jingxing watched this scene with a slight smile. In order to prevent future trouble, and leaking of the news, Shi Jinyan had silenced everyone. This had the style of his father back then. I had no choice. Old Kai, don't blame me. Shi Jinyan looked at the 5 corpses and sighed. Dad, stop talking to the dead. Let's leave this place quickly, a teenager urged. Go and get the car. Shi Jinyan nodded. As he spoke, he let go of old Kai's corpse and closed his eyes. Old Kai, rest in peace. The corners of Su Jingxing's eyes twitched slightly. Disdain welled up in his heart, but he didn't reveal any of his aura. He hid in a corner and watched as Shi Jinyan and company boarded the 2 cars that old Kai had prepared. They left the underground car park one after another. Su Jingxing's figure flashed. He went to extract the cards first, then quickly followed behind the cars. When they were leaving the car park, he heard Shi Jinyan's instructions to call the crematorium to collect the corpses. Then, the two cars headed south on the main road. That's right. They weren't going to the suburbs but to the southern district. This was because the Shi family's last secret base was located on the south bank of the Sky Water River in the southern district, under a small hill. Su Jingxing followed closely behind, keeping a 100-meter distance. Never near but never losing them. Li Lilo, Yan Yuanfeng, Zhou Wensen, and the rest were probably still outside the Shi family's estate and would only take action in the morning. Su Jingxing had already begun on his side. He did not inform them because there were many valuable items in the Shi family's last secret base. Su Jingxing had no interest in the Shi family's fixed assets. However, Su Jingxing didn't want to share certain things with others. Half an hour later, the two cars that Shi Jinyan and company rode crossed the Sky Water River Bridge and drove to the south bank. After driving for another 10 minutes, they arrived at the foot of a small mountain. There was a scenic building at the foot of the mountain with many rooms inside. The cars drove through a gate and stopped at a remote corner. After alighting, they quickly turned into a small path and entered a house. Someone was waiting in the house. After Shi Jinyan and company entered, the other party immediately activated the mechanism and opened up a sealed wall. Behind the wall was an underground tunnel that led down. Shi Jinyan and company entered the passageway one after another. After everyone was in, the people who kept guard outside closed the wall and returned everything to normal. Su Jingxing witnessed the entire process. He waited for about 5 minutes before he quietly entered the house. Without the guards noticing, he knocked them out from behind. Following which, he activated the mechanism as they had done and reopened the wall before entering the underground tunnel. Soft lamps were installed on both sides of the passageway. After Su Jingxing entered, the first thing he did was to find the switch and turn off the lights. He knew that there were many surveillance cameras installed in the passageway. With the lights on, how could Su Jingxing continue to hide? His three secret abilities, night vision, distant vision and advanced hearing were activated at the same time. Su Jingxing moved forward silently and quickly. When he reached the exit, he kept an ear out for any sounds within a 100-meter range. After confirming that there was no one outside, he increased his speed to the fastest, flashed in and found the nearest underground room. He opened the half-open door and closed it gently. The entire process took less than a second. Su Jingxing only relaxed slightly when he was in the storeroom that was temporarily empty. He listened to all movements within 100 meters. He did not know if he was really lucky. Just 3 minutes after Su Jingxing started to listen, an excited shout suddenly sounded. Found them! Found them! We found the treasures! What? Inside the base, those who heard the shouts were all stunned. But the next moment, the entire base was in an uproar. They really found it? That's great! That's right! To think that the team that went out to search for the treasures would be able to find them so quickly. Exactly. I thought it would take a month or 2 or even half a year. I didn't expect them to find the exact location in less than a week. Hey, what do you think are among the treasures left behind by Jingxing? Who knows? But if I'm not wrong, there should be gold, silver, jewels, martial arts secret manuals, treasure weapons, and pills. Inside the base, people who were having discussions in the rooms and corridors were excited and agitated. Su Jingxing, who was listening to their conversations, was also surprised. The Shi family has actually found Jingxing's treasures. Previously, the Shi family wanted to use Jingxing's treasure to attract and divert the attention of the entire city. Back then, the Shi family didn't know where the treasure was, so they wanted to borrow the power of the various major factions in the city to search together. Unexpectedly, the team sent by the Shi family only took less than a week to find those treasures. This news was very timely for Su Jingxing. The Shi family wanted Jingxing's treasure, and Su Jingxing wanted to take a look too. The treasures left behind by an ancient corrupt official must be quite valuable. With this in mind, Jingxing enhanced his ability of advanced hearing and listened out for the exact location of the treasure. Fortunately, the underground base was divided into 3 levels. The linear distance for every level from east to west was less than 100 meters. And the distance between 2 levels was less than 10 meters. The entrance was on the 2nd level. The person who reported the news had run to tell Shi Jinyan, who was on the east side of the 1st level. The room they were in happened to be within Jingxing's hearing range. Patriarch, we found Jean Mushin's treasures. Great! Where is the entrance? It's in the underground cave at the northwest corner of the Tai Ming Mountain Reservoir. The members of the searching team put on diving suits and entered the cave. After diving down for about 20 meters, they saw an entrance on the wall of the cave. They crawled into it and swam 50 meters upwards. From there, one would be able to enter the pool at the bottom of the cave where the treasures are hidden. Good, good, very good. Tell the searching team to stop advancing. They are to return to the bank of the reservoir immediately and wait there. They have already retreated. There is a mutated beast in the pool inside the treasure cave. If Little Wu and the rest had not retreated quickly, they would have already died there. Mutated beast in the water. A mutated beast guarding the entrance of the treasure cave. Well, we're not so sure about that. It's okay. Wait for me to go over and take a look and we'll know. The rest of the conversation was no longer important. This was enough. After Jingxing got the information he wanted, he opened the door of the storeroom with a smile and walked out. Hey, who are you? Outside the door, 2 guards were just coming out of the turn in the aisle. When they saw Jingxing, one of them was startled and asked curiously. The other person exclaimed in shock, "Who are you?" Swish! Swish! The sound of rushing wind abruptly sounded. 2 throwing daggers shot out and instantly struck the heads of the 2 guards. Da-da-da! The sound of messy footsteps came from the aisle. A group of guards carrying firearms ran out. The moment they appeared, they shouted, "What happened? What is there?" Swish! Swish! Throwing daggers shot out and tore through the air. Before the guards who rushed out could get a clear look of Jingxing's figure clearly, their heads or throats were penetrated by the dancing throwing daggers. Thump, thump, thump. The sound of corpses falling to the ground was especially pleasant. Jingxing walked over quickly and extracted cards. Then, he waited at the landing of the stairs that led from the 2nd level up to the 1st level. The secret ability, advanced hearing, was activated to listen to the movements around. Within the range, Shi Jinyan was rushing towards the 2nd level with a group of people. Jingxing circulated and channeled his true energy into his right hand, preparing to punch. The moment Shi Jinyan led his men down the stairs. Boom! The air exploded. A 100 years of cultivation was released, and a force that was amplified 9 times swept out, crashing onto Shi Jinyan and company. Nearly 1,000,000 caddies of strength smashed onto his body in an instant, pushing Shi Jinyan and company into a pile on the spot. Some died, some lost their limbs and some screamed miserably. This included Shi Jinyan, who was a 5th-grade martial artist. He was unable to raise his protective true energy in time, and 4 of his bones were fractured by the immense force. Blood spurted from his mouth, and his entire body weighed onto a guard, unable to catch his breath. The guard had turned into a pile of mash. It's you. Shi Jinyan was wide-eyed as he stared fixedly at Jingxing, shock and disbelief surfacing on his face. Obviously, he did not expect Jingxing, the culprit behind the destruction of the Shi family, to appear in the base. Just who are you? Shi Jinyan panted as he stared unblinkingly at Jingxing with his fiery eyes. The killing intent in his eyes was so intense that it was almost tangible. He couldn't understand why Jingxing would go against the Shi family. Also, why did Su Jingxing know the location of all three bases? Traitors? The traitors of the Shi family had been cleared long ago. There were only a few people who knew about the entrances to each base, apart from those keeping guards here. Even if someone sought to capture these people and torture them, they would not have a chance. Because they would self-destruct. So, how did Su Jingxing know the location of the bases? Shi Jinyan could not understand. Swish. 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 What answered him was the shrill sound of throwing daggers cutting through the air. Pooh! 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 After a series of muffled thuds, everyone, including Shi Jinyan, died.